from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong for them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I got that day. Remember when me tell you say I got that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way you put like a papa nuku. But them way me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi Samiro. Me tell you what I day. From the front and the rest of man I tell you what I am. Me never give up. Me tell them say
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. My other Biafrans, if for freedom had to die, we will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, forever be a part.
They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now, if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart, forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history, that the death of our people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bomb, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes for our fallen heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them a motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a gas, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of my unborn child. We live for the legacy.
flag in the air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is. We must revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.
Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion.
Fighting a war, knowing the difficulties, the odds against us, there is an element of fatalism, people feeling, well, if the world chooses to abandon us, then perhaps it is better we all perish. They don't ever consider a Biafra not free. They believe in either Biafra free or no Biafra at all. That means none of us living to see it.
I need Biafra freedom. We Biafrans, we need Biafra freedom. For this, I decided, even to die, that Biafra must have its own freedom.
I want us to work systematically towards the establishment of a good, progressive, and democratic society where all vestiges of privilege and social injustice will be abolished, and the rich contribute more for the welfare of the poor. If civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right, it will for us be the price of freedom. Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, that the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long.
We'll surely come out as a nation because we're fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
This is what Biafra is, the end of the journey for a persecuted, massacred, pursued people. We have made all attempts at a democratic resolution of this crisis. I have offered open elections, plebiscite. I have offered just an open carte blanche suggestion, anybody who can find a democratic way of finding out the wishes of the people, let him suggest it and we will go for it.
Another Savior,
holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, holy.
If you do not believe in what we are doing, then you better get out. We're not going to stop. God knows we can never stop until Biafra is restored. We are peace-loving people. We abhor death and killing of another soul. It's in our nature, that's how we are. But because of that, they have been coming and killing us all these years. We've kept quiet. They've been killing and killing and killing quiet. We have a case at the ICC. We have a case at Africa Union. We have a case of, what else again, pending before the UN in New York. We've been to Geneva to tender our case. Before UN, till today, nothing. In fact, the more we complain to them, the more they come to abduct and rape our children, the more they come to kill us, the more they want to take over our land and our forests. And who told them that's going to be possible in our time? In a movement that I lead. You think you can come into our land and take it over? Oh dear. That means you don't know who we are.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening on a very special program on our evening section. Remember, we are in a very, very critical time. All we need to do is to continue to encourage Biafrans, wherever they may be, to stand their ground and continue to revisit all the effort of Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa Jogo. The videos they have made in the past, the broadcasts they have made in the past that continue to be playing out today. So we are revisiting all those. Those who are abusing Nnamdi Kanu and insulting Nnamdi Kanu, the XDOX, they release a press statement and they tell their people to stop attacking Nnamdi Kanu, that they should stop the attack and pause. Whoever advised them to do that, well, is for their own good. Is it going to change the situation of their position? It's not going to change. Anything that made you at all to attack Nnamdi Kanu have actually shown who you are. You thought that when you start attacking Nnamdi Kanu that he will lose relevance and people will run away from him. But you now discover that attacking Nnamdi Kanu was the greatest mistake of your life. And today you are coming out to give order that your people should stop attacking Nnamdi Kanu. If you want to continue, go ahead. Go ahead. But you are not going to end well. It is very clear that the supreme leader of IPOB remains the leader of the struggle. And there is nothing anybody can do about that. You cannot change it. You cannot change it with your propaganda. You cannot change it with your blackmail. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is to accept it as the reality. You must accept it as the reality. Because that is the reality of today. Nnamdi Kanu remain the face of the struggle. And we will continue to support him. Likewise, our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, who is coming on the court on the 5th of August next month. In a month's time, he's going to be in court for his appeal. And we believe that he's going to be free. Every one of us must continue to pray for him. We must continue to support the legal team, the international lawyer that is to support him. Make your own contribution. Go and look at the link and make your contribution to support the legal fair for Simon Ekpa and make sure that the international lawyer is present in Finland. It is very important, and this is something we are supposed to do, and we need to do it and do it while we can. So this evening, we are going to listen to the message of Nnamdi Kanu, one of his hot messages. Those messages that break the barriers in Nigeria. Those messages where he doesn't spare anybody. He says it the way it is. This is one of the messages that shake the pillars of Nigeria. This evening, we are going to revisit that message. Pay close attention. Listen, you are going to learn a lot. You are going to learn a lot. Don't move away. Don't blink your eyes. Pay attention to these brokers of Nnamdi Kanu. After listening, many questions will be answered and your life will never remain the same.
We are live and we are direct. funny. It's funny. Onye Wuche has come back. Biafras are coming back to my page. Yoruba. It is the truth. I tell you the truth because I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're holding my life to take it. Yes, you. Was Shoyi cannot corrupt? Was Naishulari not corrupt? Name one Yoruba man that isn't corrupt. Name one. Name one that is corrupt. I said name one. Tell me a Yoruba man that served in the public office and went back with integrity or integrity intact. Name one person you can't. Yoruba should stop supporting evil. Yoruba, stop supporting evil. I want confirmation. Chinasa, tell me if I am coming out loud and clear on they have done something to Radio Biafra. They have done something to Radio Biafra. I don't know what is going on. I do not know what is happening. I do not know what is happening. I don't know what's going on. Isn't it very funny? Isn't it very funny? Before we went out, I was at 3.7K or so. We've come back, he's jumped to nearly, this is 5.9, 96K. You see what Yoruba is? You see how Yoruba is messing themselves up with this? You see how they're messing themselves? Do you see how disgraceful they are? You think you can stop it? You can't be joking. You must be. We are live and we are direct. And humanity is listening to us because we do it. You may not like it, and quite frankly, I do not give a damn. If you like it or if you don't like it or it doesn't bother me. Because we preach it. The whole truth and not the benefit. We are live and we are direct. The world is already see someone. Hey! But if evil, that evil will leave you alone. This same evil was what Africa got out of the game and we lost the money. Till now, I have done that. Absolutely. I was broadcasting 1 minute ago. You reduced my number from over 3,000 to 3,000. And it connected. And it's over 8K. And when I preach this very gospel, people don't understand. We will continue. Because we are relentless. If you like, reduce it to 0. They got so frustrated, they cut off the government. Is it going to save you? It can't save you. I am a Nnamdi Kanu. It can't save you. I do it always. Look at my face, oh, look at it. I am pulling it home because when we count any time, yes, as I said, they cut us off. We are back again. We are back again on Radio Biafra. We are back again on Radio Biafra. You see my face? I'm pulling it. Come on, look at this face. I'm putting my face. Is that enough? But you see, you breathe. Here, this one is 4. Here, 2. Here, 2, making it 4. Eyebrow, 1 is here. The other one is here. 4 eyebrow. Oh, there is a hole here. Let me show you that I don't have any hole. Can Jibril do this? Can Jibril do it? I'm asking you. Jibril, can Jibril do it? Let me, he said, do I have any hole on my, can you see it? Can you see it here? Any hole on my leg? You claim your president. Of our white folks watching this. Just like 11K. Just leave, abandon. You're not going to get anything. You cannot gain anything. and leave Jonathan alone. Leave Patience alone. He can even maybe toy with Jonathan a little bit, but Patience must leave her alone. You must. In fact, you ask, let us go. Who is the idiot? Who is looking for Patience to start with? Let us see who the idiot is looking for Patience. Bloomberg reports that the bank told to provide the bank details of Jonathan and others in the city group. Who asked for it? The Attorney General of the zoo was quoted by the court documents as asking for information content. Okay. IPOB, you have a standing order. I want to know everything there is to know about that little criminal. That boy called Abubakar Malami. The grades is called in school. The schools he went to. The lecturers he tried. I know he's a total graduate of all. I want to know everything about him. I want to set an example with you that others will learn. This boy, Abubakar Malami, I will set an example with you that others will learn. I don't care what you do. You will see President Jonathan is untouchable. 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 Since we are now in the business of writing letters, I wrote on to IMF now, you're writing to, and to World Bank now, you're writing to banks. Let us up the game. We are now going to write to banks all over the world to give us the bank accounts of every Fulani criminal, including the bank account. You want to write letter? We are now going to write letters now. We are now going to inform every bank in the world, and we know where the monies are hidden. I want you. You don't go after Patient Jonathan. You don't try that rubbish at all. They say you don't go after her. I don't know who they are. We can't go after them without going after Aisha Buhari. That is wanted in America for fraud. Halliburton bribery scandal. She is involved. You have not asked for the bank account of Aisha Buhari. You have not asked for the bank account of Ibrahim Lamode. You have not asked for the bank account of Yusuf Buhari, the fourth largest, the fourth richest man in Africa. You're going after Christians, because Jonathan is a gentleman, he's quiet. He wants one Nigerian. He's a statesman. He wants UN to call him and give him justice of peace. You can do whatever you like. It is Christians. Don't go area. Don't go area. Where did I get the money to buy 18 trailer loads of rice? From where? I ask you. From where? Where did she get the money from? I don't blame you, I blame Jonathan. I blame Jonathan. I blame the idiots that call themselves Niger Delta. I blame the bastards that call themselves Niger Delta. The hopeless fools, I blame them. A former first lady, albeit in the zoo, you want to ask for her account. Hey! Chineke, thank you very much. Now, since we are all going to investigate it now, every account, every money in that account belonging to Fulani, every money belonging to the group, we want it. So we can also write to them. You know what? I mean. One order tonight, everything will be set up from the moment. Number one in the world, not to go to the Are you aware? You want us to since you don't have the fear, there's no fear, you don't have the fear to go after Christians tonight. All of you are fair game. All of you are fair game. All of you. Full of criminals. All of you criminals with your hotels in Dubai, with your estates in Dubai, you are gone. and even those hiding their loot in China. You think you're safe? You think you're safe? That somehow China will save you? You are drunk. You are mad. You're not asking for the account. So when they ask you, why did you displace the economy? You say, oh, it's a gentleman of patience. And they say, hey, they took all the money. All the money you've been laundering to Dando, they take to Dando. So somebody can become a multi-billionaire in North Africa with pasta, rice, and sugar. Then you get it locally. You take me to Dando. Do you seriously, do you look at us? Do you know this is everything? Do we look like food? Fulani, do you think this generation will look like food? Do you think they are sick away? Or why they are sick? On the own, begging you for governorship. Do you think that is good? Do you know we are IPOB? We shall teach you the lesson of the Bible next time. When you hear the name, we shall tell them. I'm not to black for us. To go after our people. We said we would defend them, yes, but I noticed that was somehow a kind of an encouragement to go after. No, you can't. Any day you are prepared to solve the issue of corruption, you convene a large commission, appoint judges from outside the state, then announce all the cases one after the other. What's for selective? You think that nonsense, what man can put the blame on the Harvey monarchies of the North populace? Is that what you think? So if you come and select Jonathan and Patience, and then if you take them, you rubbish them. No, it can't happen. Not right. It can't happen, I'm telling you. Since you want us to request for bank accounts, we now request for bank accounts for everyone. That the world may see those who are waiting. And our starting point is 13.9 billion, which you have not answered. Nobody, no Janjaweed has been able to answer this question. Yoruba media will not answer. Where is the 13.9 billion budgeted for Arsenal Clinic? Where is the money? I shall say, not if a single syringe is there. Where is the money? You are looking for the same thing. People are mad like this. I'll have to do this. You want to go after patients, their bank account. Hey! You have got your own bank account. Why don't you publish it? Because he who goes to the meeting knows what he can publish your own bank account. Then we know. You need to have this service. You call your bank for and they are unemployed and it's nothing to be paid every 3,000 naira to the bank. Do you know the idea? We squash everybody. If you come to social media, we will squash you completely. We decimate you. Because we have the facts and figures, and we have an army that cannot be bought. An unbuyable army. The army wants to deal with. An army you cannot buy. Talk about, let me get you again from you. President Jonathan. The evaluation is not accepted without next month. Don't touch her. You say, talking about President Jonathan. You are mad wherever you are. I'll imagine with quota education. Into an additional group of law. You go to your quota job and you're doing very well for the rest of your cabal, and you take and extend that rubbish to President Jonathan. Jonathan opens up. Why are you responding to them? Why is President Jonathan responding to them? What for? Have they come to the family of Umaru? Have they come to the family of Ibrahim Taher? Have they come to the family of the Sultan of Sokoto? How many oil wells do they have? I'm asking you. Were they acquired legally? People involved in it have gone. They bought CBN. They bought federal payment radio. They've been burning offices everywhere. And you're telling me you're pushing each other. Absolutely. I just had a sip of water. Unlike today, you cannot. I just have a sip of water. And the world is listening. We are live and we are direct. Humanity is on our side because we are propagating it. This is the reason why they want one Nigeria to chase all of you. One Nigeria. This is our Nigeria. This is our Nigeria. I am taking you back to what those they call their founding fathers. Not their founding grandfather, but their founding father. Soon as no grandfather. No grandfather, no ancestor, no issue. Because their lives were dead in 1960 more or less. What did Awolowo say? I am saying this because of those who are going about talking rubbish. Where's one Nigeria? We want our one Nigeria, our founding father. Let us say, you see what your founding father said. Awolowo, this is what Awolowo said. And please, I'm not going to put it everywhere. Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historic. Sorry, this is I very well spoken man. I saw this video, I've always known. I can speak about a former I want to build right, well learned, polished, I must say. The former was polished, very neat, clean, well spoken, one spoken, highly educated. Some people shouldn't have, I don't know those that meant to keep. He was a very good man. But I wouldn't say a good man. He was the minister of Janjaweed, Fulani. And all of you, somebody like everybody needs to take care. Why? Hey! I don't know what that means. Is that why? It's not what I said. Tafawa Balewa said in 1948, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their background, their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any signs of willingness to unite. It was never united. Never Awolowo said, Nigeria is not a nation. It is a geographical expression. There are Nigerians. Nigerians exist. Awolowo is a black man. In the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French, the word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria and those who do not. Femi Awolowo never believed in one Nigeria. Enough. I want to ask them, let's talk about Nigeria. That's why I call them political nationalists. They are hypocrites. How about the Jordan of his day? This nigga, he wants to put them off. He wants to be seen as the voice of Pan-Africanism. A dreamer, a hopeless dreamer. This is what you have to say. It is better for us and many admirers abroad that we should disintegrate in peace and not in pieces. Listen. In 1964, as if you were saying, as if it was taken. Let us prepare on peace and peace. So the presidential of this one agreement have venture the implementation that the experience of it comes to our turn to play such a tragic role in Africa. Why? That's the second where we come from. I have to say it in the language of that. What can come up? Trans. It was one time talk and becomes Biafra. So we are doing this like a nice person. I still wanted to be the captain of Biafra. I know people said no, it doesn't work. You can get one Nigeria. But that is something about some. So this is of I'm doing whatever you want. What's up? I don't know. It's not going to happen. Am I going to be, if I don't think I will go to America some time, I will come back to some of you enemies. It's not going to be there. It didn't start now. It's better there. I'm going to go. It's not going to be back. But before, that's what we do it always and that the truth must be spoken. You may not like it, is it? In that same shoe was clear as if I was telling Taco and training your almighty. Dragon built schools for them and they forgot. It's something that it's something public that song of the almighty problem and my song. The dragon wanted to stop an almighty problem. Today, was Mustafa to say, almighty protects from the there's no one that going after him. They remember all the good work he did at the magic. They're saying, no, let's go after him. And somebody will go. That is true. Yeah. And I hope that one day the Holy Spirit will touch the mind of those. That's right. The second government of the Zoo has warned that an Almighty will become an army that will conduct his great future. Henchmen from the same, fertile never change. And you want to be one that you but for instance, if the zoo that you manage to I come and go on your way, middle belt, west, east. And an army of Almighty people come up with it. You see every position and the black practice the land. Somewhere Obama and Hillary of Christ talk about office. Obama said, he said, electrical cycle. Now, because it does a Democrat and no problem, it does a Republican this is radio capital line. The time now is approximately 12 minutes 9 p.m. evening in London. The same public of the one. Let's talk about we are live and we are direct. The next representative of this according to that issue. Of course, it's going to come by that time. Out of any strength that would want to cases. But not many Tinubu is investigating the time. The same way the rest of the brothers have in this world. You can never, ever. The Fulanis don't trust God. They use them. That's the principle. You can say anything about the East. You can say anything about the Biafrans. You can say anything about the Hebrew everyone. It doesn't happen. Forget about it. They are not behind the what happened. The picture of ABF CBF possibility to That's why you go to have it's not a time for anyone to get
My fellow Biafrans, we are having some technical problem. I think we have to go to their media now. Let's go to Nigerian media to see what they have there. Some of the informations that are very important for us to look into this evening to complete our evening section. We are going to go to their media to get what is happening and what they have to offer in the media. So I want you all to hang on. Let us look at the media. From the media, we can get a lot of information and update here to put things right. So let's try to go to the media and see what they have in their media in the Zoom. Let's go with it.
Support to Ronaldo na Portugal. More than support to Messi na Argentina. But I would like to answer Google. Ya support to France. We don't pay na Panta Beba. Get Jesus in another Panta. I can do what you can spread against the Portugal. I'm not able to get the man. That is that. You will feel that they are ready.
To answer. To answer. To answer.
Very thankful.
Very
I'm making the answer.
ọ gazuola ụkpụrụ niile kwesịrị isi ọ nwere agịrịma barịsta na sọsọ nke agụdị ọ bụrụ na ndị apụtasị na ha mara anya na ọ bụ asị barịsta ọzọ dị ka ibe ya bụ na tupu ejensi abanye asị na ọ na-abanye na bọjetị ọ ga-aga ụkpụrụ niile na ụlọ nzukọ maka na nke a abụzi ihe nkịtị nke a bụ iwu ka ọ bụ ihe ọbụla na-apụtara na bọjetị abụrụ na dị barịsta ọ bụghị sọsọ naanị nke ahụ ha gakwara n'ihu ma kwuo si na odike ihe a mekwara na 250 office of chief economic advisor nye presidency onwere ya nọ n'onye bụ ofisi mana ego na-amapụrụ ya na-akwụnye onye ọhụrụ barịsta dịka i kwuru ọ bụrụ na amaghị ihe mere na ọ ga-esibere Tinubu anya na garị na ntuli aka a sịrị ikwu kedu ihe kwesịrị ime ọ bụ isi gbajara bịa bi na nke ọ dịkwa na nse chere ọ bụ ya ama ime ya bụrụ ma o siri ekwechiri si na gị na onye atụkọta ya ya ga na-ebe ihe ya ihe ị ga-eri ya dị ọ wekọchiri dịrị ihe ị ga-eri ya dị Tinubu enweghị ike ịkọba ya like onweghị ike ya ya na-echere oge na ihe bụ a na-ekwu na ka elu ha ga-eji kọtara ha ga-agbakọ ya n'ime ya ya ga-eji ka asịkwa na ọwụ ka kpochiri mana evidensị ka nkụ ya wụ ihe kpọrọ Disobedience kpọga na DSS ga-emechie ya ọnụ mba evidensị nwoke a wepụtara ọka so amamụta ga-eji ekpuchi ya aka it's not possible ihe ọ na-egosi wụ na gịnị Tinubu adaghị in charge ọ bụ onye nọ n'isi ọchịchị ndị ya na-akụkụ ndị nọ n'isi ọchịchị onye ha ga-ewere ha bụrụ tinye agency a n'ime bọjetị ya sanya ya na-amaghị ama ọmaghị na-eme agba ọmara ọzọ onye anya ya na-eme n'otu kọta na agwa ya adịghị mma ya na ego adịghị na mma Paul from the US ebe ọ nọ ọ wee eke enyi ya mgbe ọ na-apraktisi nọ na US ori ejiri ike ike ozi na US ọ nwere ike ga US enweghị ihe ebe ibe ya ọkwadị ọba ego so onye nkiri nnukwu ga-eji were onye a n'owe na akụkụ ya ekwele nye ebe a ka nwanne nwoke a na-eji akpọrọ ndị na-enweghị ụfọdụ na were ọgwụ ya nkiri ndị nwechara agwa ọjọọ data agwa ha na-eshi ishi ọdụ ọ kpọrọ ụfọdụ ndị okwu ya so edozi ihe ga-adị mma so nke a na o ji agwa ọjọọ amapụta gị gaa n'ọsọ gbanye ebubo ndị Naijiria ga-anabata ndị ọbụla dị because one nwoke wepụta na-agị na evidence nwoke wepụtara evidence tọrọ atọ enweghị onye na-ekwu ka aha ga na-ekwu na agency anaghị na budget ịmaghị ya kedu oge oji nwee budget kedu oge oji nọ na federal secretariat kedu oge oji dị ya akwụkwọ ya na-eme ihe niile ọ na-eme ịmaghị onweghị ịgbanye ga-agwa gị ka aha ị ga-agwa gị ka aha maka na o deele iko Tinubu na ndị ọrụ ya na ha kwachiri ojule ike wetụrụ onye Chineke ha che na nwoke a na-akpa Abdulsalam na ọ ga-agba ọsọ ọrụ na ya taa ya agba ọsọ onye mere ndị gbajaja ndị na gbasịnye ndị ya na afọ nwoke asụkpa ya sịrị nọ na anwa nke na ọ maghị nke awụ ka nwoke asịrị go to hell awụ ebe nye chiri ebu ụzọ ndị onye nara aja $400 million bụ ya ka agaghị ime evidence asị na họteelụ gbara ọkụ adị edo nke họteelụ ga-eji ọkụ n'oge ahụ ya na pepa họteelụ nwoge ahụ ha gbara ha họteelụ agbara ọkụ ebe nwoke ha nọrọ nwụọ ka a ga nchọpụta awụghị ya so onye anyị da na-akọba ọ maka asị na a na-akọba agwara ya abụ ime ọnwụ isi a na-ekpuchi aka Tinubu nke awụ nke masa strategy nke a na ọzọ nke na Chineke na-ala mmadụ ochi ga-eme gị
barista ọtụtụ ụmụafọ anọ anyị na-akpọkwa oku dịka e kwutere nwa amadi ahụ medoma onye asị mụrụ ọkụ gbakwara na họteelụ maazị Babatunde Dọlapụ Tanimola ụmụafọ ala anyị na-akpọ oku na ịhụgo ka nwa amadi a siri nwụọ akọrọgwa ha si hụrụ ndụ maazị Prince Adeyemi na ọ dị ụmụafọ ala anyị oke mkpa n'oge dịka nke a na ha achọghị ịnụ akụkọ ọjọọ na enwere ihe mere Prince Adeyemi maka na nwa amadi apụtara ma gbuo onye a na-ezo nwunye ezo na ndị a na-achọ ndụ ya barista ka ha bụrụ dịka na-enye anya n'ihe ndị ọzọ otu onye US congressman onye oge abụrụ oge ọ na-etinye ọnụ n'ihe na-eme n'ala anyị bụ Naijiria mbọ apụtala ma kwuo na ọchịchị Donald Trump ga-edenye anya na ntuli aka elu nke afọ 2027 ọ ga-edenye anya na ya na-ahụ ka ihe si aga ka rizọtụ si apụta nakwa ihe ndị ọzọ barista anyị wetekwara akụkọ mgbe izuụka gara aga ụfọdụ ndị agha Amerịka akpọtara n'ala anyị bụ Naijiria ha pụọla agwala ha laghachi azụ ebe ha si. Mana barista nke mbụ n'oge dị ka nke a ụmụafọ ala anyị na-atụ anya na a ga-ewetekwudiri ha ndị agha Amerịka ndị nke nọ anọzi asị ha laghachila ha azụ ebe ha si. Barista ụmụafọ ala anyị na-arụzi biko ndị na-eji mmadụ terọrist ndị ndụ ha ebiela na a na-atụ anya na a ga-ewetekwunye ndị agha ndị nke nọ na asị ha nọ. Mana gịnị ka ị siri hụ ihe a mgbe amadi ya kwuru na Donald Trump ga-elenye anya n'aka ntuli aka elu nke afọ
banyere na US maka ọgwụ ndị onye isi ala ya gaa nke ndị na ndị Amerịka ga-ewere gịnị wepụga Amerịka na-eji eleba anya na ihe gbasara Naijiria. So ego ha na-adị mkpa ọkwa n'ọrụ ọhịa mere ndị ya dị Donald Trump isi ndị ahịa fọlọta ga-edekwa na ịghọtago. So e nwere ndị a na-enye aka azụ gọọmenti a na-enye aka azụ ka ha ghara ide na gọọmenti anya ọjọọ. Ọhịa mere ihe enweghị ihe ọdate ego a na-ekwu ya because America enweghị ike nata ide place lawaka na
maka na ihe a kwuru emebeghị ya ọ na-akọwanye dị njọ
emefu ya a ga-agbara aka laghachi. So akwụrụ ụgwọ ezigbote ego ka akwụrụ onye ndị na-ebuja sị enwere ndị na-blackmail Naijiria maka na ego anyị amaghị ebe ọ na-abụ
maka na barịsa ọbụla n'anya ị ga-afụ na maazị onye isi ala ka ọ gba arụkwaghị m site na ya bụ ozi IMF International Monetary Fund wepụtara na ọchịchị etiti na nke etiti bụ na isi ya emefu na nzuzo 8.8 trillion naira. Barịsa ọ bụrụ na ị na-anya n'ihe ndị a niile na mmefu a ụfọdụ ndị nwere nkwenye na Donald Trump abụrụ onye a ga-egochara adịghị ka o nwere ike ọ bụrụkwa ndị na-azụ Donald Trump ka a na-egocha maka ọ bụrụ na ị ga-echeta otu onye n'ime ndị ụlọ nzukọ omebe iwu kọngres ahụ na mgbe e kwuru na ndị a na-ama ha aka bụ ndị na-achọ ka ego biri ha mana ha agaghị ekwe mana ihe ọbụla gbasatara ihe ga-enwe ndị kwe na ndị ekwe. Ọ dịghị ka na Donald Trump n'onwe ya na-abụchaghị onye aka ikpere maka ọ bụrụ ndị ego Donald Trump bụ onwere ihe o ji
nwoke a na-akpọ Donald Trump ebe ọbụla ọ banyere especially ihe gbasara nkwado ọ naghị agba aka apụtala lee Ukraine ọkụ were their mineral resources iji recover 350 billion America ji nye ha kwa ọwachi DRC Igbo ọ mere ebe ahụ ọ kwagere mineral resources ya Venezuela. So enweghị ebe ọbụla ọ gara ọ na-agba aka apụta ike ebe ha bụ ebe na-abụ ya bụ Meka ọnọwụ. So enwere n'otu ego jiri gafee kemgbe landing topic eche m na gọọmenti ọ ga-apụtasị mba na ọgwụgwọ etu mana ebubo okwu so na ebubo. So o gosiri na gịnị aka azụ agaala mana ọ gaghị iji otu ahụ maka na Donald Trump bụ ofu onye na Amerịka ọ bụ ofu onye ndị ka ọzọ ha agaghị ikweta ha makwa na-achụga a na-achụ ọ wee elekshọn na ga-edisaid ma ọgọdọ akọntest ya ma ọ ga-akọntest ya
mana ihe a na-asị na anya ndị US ga-adị na ya bụ ntuli aka Naijiria. Barịsta ọ nwere ihe nke a nwere ndị isi ihe nke a ga-ewepụta
ọ ga-ewepụta ihe maka na rịpọtụ ya na rịpọtụ ekwuole na ha pọblishe rịpọtụ Tinubu na US na FBI NTA and the other representatives na ha wepụta that report gbasara Tinubu and so ha ga-ewepụta ya and the opposition na human rights they ought to get hold of that Ntuli Aka Court Nigeria. Yes, maka na mgbe ya mere na 2023 ya na-ekwu na the report na ọ bịara late this and that. Now ka ebidozie ya na oge meeleze ihe Chukwu ga-agwa ndị ụwa niile meeleze ọ ga-agwa ha maka mgbe o tere ọ gwara na nwa pọblisha na ụlọ pọblisha ka ọ ga-emekọta ya ebe ọ dị njọ ele otu certificate isi nwere first class enyere gị scholarship ele ka ọ ga-emepụta n'ebe nọ ele ka ọ ga-akwụ mmepụta n'ebe nọ nke ahụ agago mana anyị nọ na ụwa ọhụrụ na so a ga-achụ onye achụpụta ya maka na gịnị na-abata ọ naghị agwụ ọtụtụ ya ya tọkwa ya hapụ ya n'isi ebi taa ma a ga-ewelite okwu a maka na ọchịchị anaghị agwụ agwụ
ọchịchị anaghị agwụ agwụ anyị ga-agabara aka ahịa ọ bụrụ na anyị lọghachi azụ anyị ga-agakwa n'iru na ya bụ ihe emume nchetakwa na ọka bụ n'oge ndị na voice of the people na n'ime ha Chigamba Gambia
ị na-anụ okwu a o gosiri na gọọmenti etiti achọghị kwụsị ọ na-ada arụ na ndị o gosiri na anya dị ha dị hapụ ihe a niile Tinubu na-ekwu ọ dị ha dị I'm not joking ọ dị ha dị ịkwụsị ihe a na-eme na Naịjirịa maka na enwere ihe bịa na-ede enwere ihe a na-achọ ụmụaka na-ekwu okwu ya ụmụaka na-enweghị ndị nwe ha enwere ọnụkwanụ nke a dịla bụ inweta gị mee ya immediately adọpụta ya na ndị ezinụlọ ya na ndị okpukpe mana ndị ka na-enweghị ndị nwe ha ha wụ ha mmadụ onye ihe a dị na-ada otu a onye bishọp ụmụaka ga-esi na ebe a hapụta na ndụ otu ihe siri kwukwu ya akwụkwọ ha na-eri shawama everyday ọ ga-adị ka onye nọ n'ụlọ ya gọọmenti ọ ga-adị ka onye nọ n'ụlọ ya ewere egbe kụwa gị isi ikwu okwu ebe ole na-aga ndị nkwọpụ na-esogharị kedu na otu nke ha ga-eji adị mma ụmụaka ihe ụmụaka ga-agabiga elu mgbe ha pụta n'oge na-abịa abịa those children can never be the same in life. Be equal and equally, ụmụaka ha ga-awụ the same because of argument like they will never forget that experience. That's what people forget how you get like ọ ya wụ ihe a na-eji adị njọ eziokwu niile enweghị gọọmenti etiti ga-anọ n'ọnụ ụdịrị ihe a na-eme ụmụaka ha nọ kama ọbụla gọọ to ha so na ndị Igbo ya mee na Amerịka Donald Trump agaghị ehi ụra ọdụ na chọta isi ya o nweghị ike na onye ọ ga-asa Amerịka niile onye ọbụla ma ndị ụgbọelu ma ndị ụgbọala everybody ha banye ebe ahụ enwe nke na-eme ndị eme ụmụaka enweghị ike nọdị ya for 24 hours mana ndị nke anyị onye njikwa ọzọ onye atọ n'ọchịchị ya ọ bịara idokwere ego Naijiria ọ bịaghị iji ọchịchị ego Naijiria na-efu n'aka iri aka ịkpadị na ndị nwe onye na-akpọwa ego ọ gara ọ bịara n'iwere ọ bụghị ndị ọ na-abịa ọ bịara n'iwere ya kwuru na nwụchi na nwụchi ya ọ bụ omume ya na-egosi na ọ chọrọ ma ọ bụghị ya kedu ndị ga-ejikwara eho 198 onye kọsịba na Naịjirịa adị Igbo ole fọrọ ịbụ onye a na-akọrọ Naịjirịa
ndị a na-ezi ka ọ bụ na ndị mba anụwa na-akwụ ọchịchị etiti ụmụ maka nke a omume kara agọtara m ife
gọọmenti nwere ebe okwu ha chọrọ ime big brother ọ chọrọ igosi na ya gwa ọ chọrọ igosi na ya gwa Naịjirịa nakwa ịnọ na enwenye meanwhile the whole world is a na-akwụ ihe na-eme na Naịjirịa
mmadụ se nwere ihe ha dịka ha zipụrụ ndị agụelu a sị na ha ga-agakwa n'ire mụ na mba ndị nọ n'Afrịka ọtago na enwere udo na-ajụsịkwanye biko obodo gị dị ọdọ ya barịsta anyị ikpeazụ agala wegara ekele otukwọ ya bụ akwụkwọ agbara ya n'ụlọ ikpe maka na dịka Channel TV otu ụlọ nta akụkọ maka ọmụma na-agba ya ajụjụ ọnụ izuụka gara aga a jụrụ ya sie nwetala akwụkwọ maazị Peter Obi gwara gị n'ugwu a sị na enwetabeghị ka akwụkwọ ọbụla dịka chi ya fụ aga were ya bụ akwụkwọ edowere ya na geeti ya e gosiri anyị ebe a gara were ya bụ akwụkwọ dowe na mmeghe geeti ya sie ga-ahụrịra ya isi nwetabeghị ya gara ya bụ akwụkwọ e nwere ihe nwa ya akwụkwọ malipụtara na akwụkwọ dịka na-agba ya akwụkwọ ajụjụ ọnụ ọ sị na maazị Peter Obi na mbọ niile ya gbara ya nyere ya aka na ntuli aka elu nke afọ 2027 ụgwọ na-akwụghachi ya ugbu a ma ịkpọpụta
o gosiri na Kenneth Okonkwo ọrịdị ọma na onwe ya ikpe eche mmasị ya ga-aga kwupụta ihe niile Peter Obi mere nke mgbe a mụrụ ya elekweghị ka ọ na-ekwu na ọ wụrụ ya na ya gara ga azara ọnụ ya mgbe ị na-ekwu ọnụ ọmụgị na-ekwu isi ọnụ na-ekwu n'ihe ahụ ịma na ọ ga-abụ okwu onye kọtụ na-eme adị Igbo achịsa bụ gakwụ na kọtụ gị na-adọ ọchị ya gị na-eme ka ịgba ha ishebe ga-agbaghị ebe a ishebe ga-agbaghị ebe a kọtụ gasị gị n'ebe adreesị gị na ọ ga-aga tapanwu ya n'ụlọ onye ha na-akpọ substituted service ị ga-abịa n'ikwu ị ghara ịdị akọrọ ya na-enwe ya onye na-enye ha ọ ga-agwa m ya n'ụbọ na-achụ ya achọ onye nwere onye a ga-atapanwu ya n'ihu ụlọ ya agwa chọrọ okwu ọ ga-anwụ okwu ya agbara Peter Obi ya bụla agbara gwara ịga kọtụ eziokwu dị na mkpefesi ya ka Kenneth nọ maka na ọ karịala ndị so Kenneth Okonkwo ọ karịala ya
Yabo, I came up with July 11th. Maka image Yabo Potanda is Yabama, is Yabamolo. I'm going to start to be Moya, I have a pampas. Tanya Pongo, I think the Moya, I have a banana and fish. When I tell you about the book, it's a one man, even a sunny. In that where that lawyer, but it's that has like a bob. But you know, yes, exactly. It's not I'm going to go this way. I said, I'm going to go this way. The Maditiana Muslim ticket. Ogare Potoso. Mana, America, Mana, it is about cheating on the drug of giving a barrister. I think God see. But look, I will not say our master strategy. I will have never. For the clever. I'm a pushing on so. In fact, I will bubble like an answer for kids. Who were now, well, get out of the city up. I don't come under the book. Primary heaven. I don't know how many had the primary. Then I have primary. But children now have been in a primary. Then the child been in primary. Now planning a court. You have also with the APC. Also, master strategy. And that strategy no man now. All your bread a work with the armor, a work of armor, a work of them. Bacanana talk out as but again, all one for Kina and not Chianaka. And it's an about you got no friend. So, I'm about what is this make up. Guys, that is
I didn't drop. I didn't public and just remember the Christ.
Because already you Christians not with him. But I know a large number of Christians on the body their food. Mama, Metal, then you might say, on your Fulani. You want to go out in over your country. So that the real Fulani who did you not. Now we are not like I get with it. Answer Fulani was the no get with it. I go with it. All of this now not get back. Sitting out with the animal. Oh, yeah, we go with it.
Kaira Kanu Mikajinaka, all come look at the voice of the people 90.3 FM, Geranu, or Padio Kepa, seminar. Ularu African jet, Lapo Yukudogeta, Nagabu, seminar, Hagadewe, Otu Borono to Isuka, Yabu seminar Hagadewe, Otu Isuka, Gafioto, Ubochi Wednesday, Ubochi, Diamond Logistics, Ularam and Common and Boa. Ha ga-ejere gị aka chịkọbara gị akwụkwọ gị niile ụka nke kwesịrị maka ya gwa ya ha chọrọ ịtụmatara gị a sị gị inyefe ha ya bụ ihe n'aka gaa kwụọ ụra ha ga-ejere gị aka mere gị ihe niile bubatara gị ahịa gị ọ gbatara ha anya agbapụta ya dịka si gwa gị na ha nwere bondage terminal nke ha ụzọ bondage terminal ọ nọ na steeti Lagos mana ọkwa na steeti Imo ndị kọstọm nọ na ya 247 ahịa gị gbatara ha anya ya ga warehouse put ya n'ụlọ ụlọ ebe ahụ na-asụ ahịa kpọtụrụ ha na 081 41 95 41 88 ọzọkwa 081 41 95 41 88 kpọtụrụ ndị ụlọ ọrụ Diamond Logistics taa n'ihi na ha bụ ọkaibe ha bụ n'ihu.
I don't know, I was afraid to eat it. So day for yesterday, I perceived it and look at the issue. And everything was now viewed from a tribal sentiment. And I'm asking myself, the video that circulated where this man was shouting that they are stealing his property and all of that. So apparently it seems maybe it's from the state government, some policemen and some individuals with uniforms. They came to inspect the place, and from inspecting the place, they're packing out properties. His AC, the rods, the cables, everything, even the lift, everything. And I was like, what is this? That's broad daylight stealing. So he was asking questions. Where is your warrant? Where is your permit for all of this? You know, these are my documents. Who sent you? And he started calling lawyers, calling people, asking questions. Is this how they do it? Even if it's a court order or it's a legal state government, the best they do is to seal off the property, Or they give you a timeline and say, take all your stuff away from here. We don't want you in this building. We don't want you to continue anything of this building. There's always an official reason, whether it's concocted or whether it is true, but they'll give you a reason. And I have never seen where they cut away people's properties. What they mostly do is they throw your stuff on the streets when you now have an opportunity to take your thing, or they just come and demolish the place, even with your property inside. They demolish everything. But to see them cut away everything, like literally take everything of yours, I think that's broad daylight theft. No explanation, no document to prove whether it's from the state government. Now he says he called some top persons, and according to what he says, the governor is not even aware of it. The Inspector General of Police said he's not aware of these guys, like he did not send them. So they were calling to find out who were the persons that sent such persons. And when this issue came on social media, obviously you have Nigerians give different analysis and interpretation of what happened. But what gobsmacked me or befuddled me was that people were not focusing on the issue, They now brushed it with tribal sentiment. So you now have some person say, should you say Lagos State is no man's land? Take your property or take your money, go and invest it in your state. Some person said, that's drug business money. And you heard this man tell you he borrowed money from the bank for this business, which obviously he'll be paying. You do know the collateral that he would have deposited for them to grant him that loan. But for some persons, they didn't care. They've already attached a synonym to the man. They went ahead to even disclose that, this is just the beginning. Don't worry. By 2027, you guys will see shaking. People think, and I'm like, what is the difference between what is going on in South Africa and the expressions of these persons? There are issues here. Who permitted this man to continue whatever he was doing by developing the place? He says he went for integrity test. The Lagos State government officials for that particular department and company, they checked it, it was okay. From there he went, they told him that he needed to do an architectural design of what he wanted to do, which he did. And if you're an architect, you guys know how much money those guys collect to draw something for you. Every process was signed and approved. So who are those people that signed and approved it if all of a sudden somebody just came and said you cannot continue here? So who were the persons inspecting the place? Who were the persons that he was having a conversation with the state government? Who were the persons monies were paid to? Who were all these individuals that kind of gave approval? They stamped all the documents presented. Who were these persons? For all of a sudden, you now came and say, this man's property is no longer viable, or that he cannot be in this premises. And if that is the case, seal off the premises, you go to court. And then the man will say, okay, you know what, let me just have access to take my stuff and leave the place for the state government. But people did not look at the issue. And everything was now viewed from a tribal sentiment. And I'm asking myself, is this just politics or it's beyond politics? Because there are some disposition from certain persons, maybe online you may say, but if it becomes recurrent, you tell that this is no longer about politics by politicians to divide the polity to their advantage. This is beyond that. So if at all anything needs to change from the state government laws and the federal government laws, if we're going back to regional system of government, I have had a conversation in the studio. I think I called the lawyer to explain to us what the process is like. I think we have House of Rep members and senators who can push for this. If a regional system of government needs to be applied, then fine, let's go ahead with it. If it's going to be a restructuring method, then fine, let the Senate do that and review the Constitution. If everybody say, okay, every nation find their way, let everybody sit down and see how the Constitution can be reviewed to enable all of these changes. But if we are still a federal government system, a federal government or Federal Republic of Nigeria, you can't have these things like this. It's absolutely wrong. You use the laws to intimidate and harass people. And I listened to the man. He's not all of those rugged guys. And it's a big question to the elitists, especially from, the Southeast, the elitists. A lot of them don't even understand the body language of the political atmosphere. I think a lot of them, either they stay abroad, they stay in diaspora, they come here to just do their business and go. They're not monitoring the system. They're not following up the policy that what they used to know as is no longer as it is. Maybe then they will make some calculated moves and know that if there is going to be any risk involved, they will absorb it. So my question to us all is, what are we doing as a nation? Why must sentiments or ethnocentric comments or attributions be on every conversation that is had? If something is wrong, call it out. If somebody does wrong, call the person out. Don't attach that to where the person comes from. I remember I say it here all the time that it's not all Fulanese that are terrorists. It's not all Hausas that are of derogatory terms. You have very good, responsible people. And so if you use one brush to paint everybody attached to a crime, it's wrong, because once they do that to you, you wouldn't like it. So my question is, when South Africans are calling out Nigeria, calling out their leadership, saying our leadership are weak, our leadership are filled with corruption, we cannot hold our government responsible, yet we're dragging their government with them, and whatever they say, go back, go back, go back. I mean, they say these comments on social media. What differentiates you and these guys? We're supposed to be a nation. How do you present yourself internationally? All these tweets and comments on Facebook, social media, people from other countries are watching it. They're reading it. So when you now want to stand firm to address some things, don't use what you have used against yourselves against you. It's basically how it works. And it's quite unfortunate that it's always when the political dispensation is rife like this kind of sentiment, perforates the polity, and it's not meant to be so. I will tell you something. That's why I said I really don't know how things devolved or degenerated to this point. In secondary school, we had this debate, unity schools. Anybody who went to unity school, I think you can affirm what I am saying. That's what they call presidential debates. Okay, so all unity schools is done yearly. Everyone, they will choose a particular school big enough to accommodate every other unity school, where we hold presidential debates and have discussions on different topics, from teaching to government policies to social welfare, education, aviation, infrastructure. Debate falls across several topics, and teenagers, teachers, and students, how they fall in line in all of this. It's a way to gauge how we interpret what is going on around us, how we're able to express ourselves, how we're able to convince the judges and the teachers on the points we're making, convince them that this policy of this government is better, or this policy is what the government ought to have adopted. And the points you make and the veracity of the points you're making determines what school wins. Now, we have different tribes who attend unity schools. I represented my school. I schooled in Lantan North, Plateau State, and I represented my school. I am from Imo State. They didn't look at, oh, she's Hausa, or she's Fulani, or she's from Birom, or Lantan, or Pakshin. They allowed everyone who could represent to represent. So when did we fall short of it? Like literally, when did we fall short of it? I heard about the STEM Olympiad competition ongoing, and the students are currently in Rome. Alex Onya is the one actually sponsoring this children. I'm sure you've got a lot of persons to contribute to that cause. And it was also looked into that tribal line. Why? Why must everything? Why can't we address issues? The situation at the Asorok Villa with Femi Bajabiamila and a fake agency that had a bank account with the CBN that had 300 staff that was authenticated through the Senate, through the Secretary to Government of the Federation, obviously went through the process with the DSS, the police, every arm. Instead of everyone to look into how that line has been blurred within the cabinet of the presidency, you're now having some persons defend and try to blame the man, despite the glaring situation on ground. I don't know if Nigerians are ready to liberate themselves from the shackles of this political myopism currently ongoing. But until Nigerians decide to orient themselves, liberate themselves from the mental shackles of tribalism, nepotism, and religion, I think we will continue to be in the same place. And it will be sad, because it will make all the conversations we have here to be invalid, like extremely invalid. Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the conversation this evening. Today, we're going to be looking into House of Rep member Riley Moore, disclosing to us that the United States of America will be focusing on the 2027 elections. So we're closely monitoring it. Although it's not the first time the U.S. usually tries to monitor elections in Nigeria, but this time around, they said they're going to pay keen interest into how the elections will be conducted. Moore made the remark during an interview on No TV just yesterday. So he was asked if he was aware of the forthcoming elections in Nigeria and if there was anything the United States could do to provide political support. He says yes, they're paying close attention to Nigeria's 2027 elections and that the United States will be watching the outcome of the polls and the manner in which they will be conducted. Also, the national spokesperson of the ADC, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, expressed fears that the 2027 general elections may not hold. According to him, in an interview, he attributed these fears to certain endemic factors within both INEC and All Progressives Congress-led government. According to him, the hunger created by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is another reason many people may not come out to exercise their franchise that might lead to weakening. Abdullahi also cited insecurity, which according to him may create situations where the election will not hold in many parts of the country. And INEC is meant to respond to that. Areas where elections do not hold, would you count it? Would you call out results from those areas and then declare a winner? Would we hear a declaration of a winner at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning, whereby we just woke up to say 1 or 2 persons have been declared winners of the elections? I mean, a lot of persons are very skeptical about 2027. But that should not deter you from getting your PVC and participate in the process. All right, now, I don't know if you guys heard about a particular judge who declared President Bola Ahmed Tinubu winner of the 2027 general elections. And they were saying that the judge who declared him a winner has gone blind in a hospital outside the country. That information is absolutely false. Absolutely false. The reason why that is false is there is no official record of that statement. That speculation came out there and it's wrong, and let's not peddle such information. I know that a lot of persons are not happy with what transpired or how the elections went, but to peddle such information is absolutely wrong. Meanwhile, there's a searchlight on the cabinet of the president with a lot of corrupt expose ongoing that is asked. Questions are being asked as to what is the president saying about all of this expose of his government and how the government has proven that they are not tight. There is no proper channel of doing things accordingly with the law and nobody has been sanctioned. So the Secretary of the Government of the Federation at one point came out to say certain persons were cloning his voice, collecting money on his name, on his behalf, and claiming they were going to give certain persons appointments. Before you know, that whole thing went down. Nobody heard anything about it. Nobody could tell us precisely what it meant, okay? And it was worrisome because, I mean, you would want to consider how these things work, how somebody will clone the Secretary of the Government to the Federation's voice and collect money, somebody inside, and we didn't hear if they investigated any of such persons, if the DSS or the NIA did any investigation to find that out. You know, it was just like how they told us that the money for JAM was swallowed by a snake at what era, at what point. Anyways, and then obviously there are claims that the federal government, over 8 trillion naira was spent outside the 2025 budget, and insisting that all public expenditures were made within Nigeria's constitutional and legal framework. I'm sure you heard what the IMF recently disclosed to the Nigerian government concerning 8.8 trillion naira, and it's actually embarrassing to hear that. It took a long time before the presidency decided to respond to the alleged 8 trillion naira missing funds. You have an accumulation of monies missing, you know, because it's being stacked up, and nobody's saying anything. They don't put up a panel to investigate anything, nothing, you know. Anything just goes, and it's quite embarrassing actually to see this kind of events take place. Events like this were not this obvious during the previous administration, and I'm wondering why it is so obvious in this administration, and nobody's head is rolled on the floor. Nobody's head is taking the head for it. I even heard some kind of defense for the whole situation with Bajabi Amina, the prince, and somebody on the monitor television was trying to liken the incident with the 9/11 attacks of September 2011 in the United States of America. And I was trying to put my head space together, like, what does this even mean? What's the meaning of this? Peter Obi has come out to call the government to say your corruption is too much, your unaccountability is too much, you need to step aside. This stinks, like this reeks, you need to step aside. And the ADC too, under Bolaji Abdullahi, Atiku Abubakar, everyone is calling that Bajabi Amina needs to resign as soon as possible. This is too huge a situation to be rolled under the carpet. But the presidency says they have invited all the parties involved, maybe a panel has been set up to investigate it. We will not know how the outcome would go. But we'll continue to give you updates. We'll continue to talk about this because somebody needs to tell us how such huge situation agency, that kind of agency is operating, collecting monies with our taxpayers' monies, and salaries are being paid. We even have some of the staff members, some of the persons who were working in that agency come out to tell us what they do, how they come to the office, how they did not get any official documents, but they were asked to resume from the office, from the head of service. They were asked to resume in that department from the head of service. So what are we operating? What kind of system? What are we doing? Now, we're also looking at the situation with the NDCs to the court. They have appealed the judgment of the what that was given to the NDC. We do hope to see what the outcome would be, this week that is coming up, what the outcome will be. But then the question is, how is Nigeria's 2027 elections going to be? And the APC is very confident that the opposition does not have a headway because they're in tatters and they're confident that they'll win these elections. We want to look at the indices. What exactly are we saying that could possibly tilt towards the narrative that the APC is giving Nigerians that they will win these elections, though they don't even have to do much because the opposition has not shown spine, has not shown strength, and has not shown cohesion that would stop any fear or panic in the midst of the All Progressives Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking with Barrister Darlington Agumo to tell us what the legal implication would be if Femi Gbajabiamina's case is investigated properly and if he's found culpable. We're going to look into that. Secondly, for the 2027 elections, if the US is going to pay keen attention to the elections, what does that mean? Precisely, it's not the first time they monitor our elections, but why that keen interest on the elections? What exactly do they intend to gain from that keen interest? Although we know that Aso Rock as it stands now really needs the validity of their international counterparts, and they will do anything that they can to present a strong front, a unified front, or a formidable front. That's what they asked to be. So Barrister Darlington Agumo is going to be my analyst this evening, where you will briefly tell us precisely what he thinks on what we just highlighted here, and then obviously we'll proceed with other aspects of the conversation this evening. In the meantime, we're streaming live on YouTube. I would implore you to join us on YouTube right about now. It's at VOP903FM and VOP903FM, and you can join us to virtually watch what we're discussing this evening anywhere in the world that you are. Tell a friend to tell a friend that the conversation has begun. Barrister Darlington, good evening. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
And fine, sir. Happy Sunday to you, Barrister.
No problem, you. I hope you're happy too.
Yes, I am. I ate corn very well today.
Yes, I know you'll be happy. You'll be happy stopping me on a Sunday.
I'll be happy doing what?
Stopping me on a Sunday.
Barry Coco, Barrister, welcome.
Okay.
So very quickly, I'm sure you heard about the story of the young man who invested in the building. Now I want to ask, why, after the fire outbreak at Mandalas, was it right for him to decide to want to continue anything there, even if he says he has all the documentation approved from the state government and passing the integrity test? Was it necessary, to continue doing anything there?
I think that is a law in Lagos State. I don't know, no, the collapse is sorry. If any building collapse, that they're going to take up the proper.
No, it didn't collapse. There was a fire outbreak, but the building did not collapse.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. It's not a collapse. Now, somebody that has such a misfortune, are you not supposed to sympathize with him? You don't know the first thing, being a business concern. If a government has love entrepreneurship, if a government that likes investors and their investment in your state, are you supposed to treat it like this? The answer is capital no. And so, on what basis Antina harasses the man upon the misfortune is suffered? Is it proper in law? The answer is no. Somebody that has got front or there was a fire outbreak in his house, is he not supposed to repair the house and put it back into shape? Is there any law against it? The answer is no. So, on what basis is the Lagos State government doing this thing? I want to find out. So, if
Yes, but the issue is that even the Lagos State governor said he was not aware of what was going on. And even the IGP says he's not aware of the set of policemen that went there to inspect them demolishing or taking over his property. What happened was they were looting his properties. They bought trucks, like several trucks, packing everything in both the lead, everything. He said even the wire that they were setting, they removed everything. So that's my issue. Are they supposed to do that?
Esther, this is the pure lie. It's very unfortunate when a whole state government is lying. Remember that this type of thing happened to P2P at together. Remember. Now, when we talk of tribalism, and they say, hey, why must you be tribalistic in everything? Why are Igbo properties the target here?
No, there are other properties that do not belong to Igbos that have been demolished at some point. I'm sure you remember Makoko, Shoki, and the rest of others.
Hold on, please, hold on. That of Makoko is a different kettle of fish, but this is a property, a business concern. Now, how could anybody tell me that somebody or non-state actor can carry out such an operation without the knowledge of the police in Lagos, without the knowledge of government officials? Esther, please, can you believe such a story? Is it possible for you to believe such a story? I mean, many people who care to listen that Sowolu is not in charge of Lagos. Some people are controlling this Lagos from outside. That is why such a thing can happen and nobody in an outside is aware of it. I would not be surprised if it is true that they are not aware. So who are these faceless people? Destroying Lagos, causing Lagos such infamy. Who are those people? The police in Lagos are not, they didn't see them, they don't know them. The government is not aware of them. Exactly. Can you believe such a story? The trucks they brought, who own those trucks? So you can see what we are talking about. Tomorrow, these people will come out and tell us that we are very accommodating. Lagos is for all, though. Yes, so we are now everybody to aspire to any level they want in Lagos. Is that how it is done? And please, somebody should come and tell me, let them come and defend this type of action. Let them come and defend it.
Okay, so Barrister, if any building privately owned, all right, it gets raised down or collapses, it belongs to the state government or the federal government. Why did he continue to want to do anything in that property?
Esther, the building did not collapse.
Yes, it was a fire outbreak there.
The one that happened at Ikoyi the other time, 11-story building that collapsed. I'm not taking it over. After today, did you hear any other story concerning that property? The answer is no. So, why is it the same? Why is it a different couple of things in this particular case? Anyway, in somebody, as far as I'm concerned, that just should go to court. It should go to court. All the property they use there, they are going to, the state government will pay for it. All this story that they don't know who did is a lie. Esther, I said capital lie. It's not possible.
Barrister, according to the Constitution, any Nigerian can reside anywhere, establish their businesses so long as everything is done through legal requirements. So why is it that whenever there are issues anywhere, you hear some person say, that's good for you, or if there is any unfortunate outcome, they say, that's good for you, go back to your whatever and develop your own region and all. They make some kind of statements that makes you wonder if it is legally, if it is something that is in the state laws or in the federal government laws or in the Constitution. And I've asked, I said, we have Senate to represent us at the National Assembly and State House of Assembly. Why has no one pushed for all of this if this is always the response when issues come up, rather than looking at the illegality of the issue and advise that this issue be sorted out? There are sentiments imposed it or applied to it, either tribal, religious, or even political.
Esther, any reference can come out and say anything on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, any reference. I am looking at the action of the government. The state government that should find out who did that thing. That is where I am waiting for. social media. I'm not joking. So I will not countenance all those statements, all those nonsense. It is the same government that are saying that they want people to establish business, they want Lagos to be a prosperous state, they want people to come and invest in Lagos and all that. If they cannot encourage investors, no matter how small, how can the bigger ones come? And so they must go into this thing and investigate who did what. There's no way they cannot find out one or two persons that are involved in that thing. And then from there, you will name other people and where they are coming from. If they cannot, then they are the one. Simple. Yes, you can't tell me that you don't know who did it. The police are not aware. The guys, what kind of rubbish is that? What kind of nonsense is that, Esther? These are things that get me worried. When things like this happen, you tell us you don't know, or not, the same or not soldier that gives a fellas mother. And whenever they want to hide away from their infamy, they will say they don't know who did it. And whom are they telling that nonsense? Meanwhile, if you blog, if you say something on social media that is against them, they will look for you to enter the hole. They will pick you out. So how can you tell me that you don't know such an event? If it didn't happen under 1 hour, as to say, if it didn't happen so fast that you couldn't recognize anybody. The state governor and the state government should go into this matter and find out who did it. If it is not so, then the guy should sue the state government. Should go to court. They will pay him compensation. Cannot tell me that such a thing happened and you are not aware. No court will listen to such a story. No court.
All right, very quickly, Barrister. The Nigerian Democratic Congress presidential candidate is asking the president to resign over incompetence and lack of compassion and failure to fulfill his campaign promises. In a statement on his X handle earlier today, Peter Obi accused Tinubu's government of presiding over grant corruption, citing an alleged 8.83 trillion naira in unbudgeted expenditure, as highlighted in a recent International Monetary Fund consultation report. He said the reported expenditure was not captured in the 2025 budget, stressing that it was outside legislative oversight and administrative scrutiny. According to him, the 8.83 trillion naira represents about 2% of Nigeria's gross domestic product, more than 35% of the country's 2025 capital budget of 23.96 billion naira. And he argued that the development was not an isolated case, but part of a broader pattern of corruption under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And in the same vein, after Nigerians reacted on that unbudgeted amount, 8.83 trillion naira, being disclosed by the International Monetary Fund, the presidency came out to defend it. They denied the claims that it spent more than 8 trillion naira, estimated at about 2% of the NDP, considering the fact that it was not outside the national budget. So on Sunday, the Ministry of Finance, all right, headed by Taiwo Oyedele, he described the claims as incorrect and incapable of misleading Nigerians about the management of public finances. So he says that the way it is not what it is. That if we follow observations attributed to the International Monetary Fund's representative in Nigeria, the fund's 2026 article consultation report, that they will find out that they did not do anything and that they do not operate a shadow project or a shadow budget or spend public funds outside constitutional statutory financial procedures. So where did that 8.83 trillion naira go if the government of the day is denying it?
This government is founded on lies, and ever since they have been struggling to cover those lies. When you tell a lie, you must find another lie to cover the first one. That's what this government is all about. Oyedele told us with his own mouth that even the tax reform booklet they produced, that what he saw there was not what they proposed. He said it openly. And that's the tax reform. Up to today, it has not been launched. We don't know anything about it. Nobody has gotten a full booklet on that tax reform booklet. Nobody. It's all shrouded in history. And so yesterday was the man, the architect of that tax reform. And he's now the Minister of Finance. So when they are speaking from both sides of their mouth, I just feel sorry for them because it is very, 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 very bad. bad when adults are lying to children. Seriously, if IMF did not come out to talk, nobody would have raised any eyebrow over that money. True of us. All the ones who have been shouting and raising our voices here, have government responded?
But the government is saying that the expenditure was undertaken through Appropriation Act, Supplementary Appropriation Act, and other statutory authorities approved by the National Assembly. That they expect the multi-year capital projects, which may span several budget cycles, and that were implemented in line with existing laws, approved capital rollover provisions were applicable.
Forget about the EPE. They are trying to deceive themselves. If this money was appropriated, it would be captured. Nobody would have raised that. IMF wouldn't have talked. True of course. A whole IMF, they wouldn't have raised any eyebrow. Why was they specific about the amount? Because that was the amount they discovered to be missing. So what is all this grammar, appropriation, this and that? Whom are they deceiving? They are talking to themselves. Were you not here when this federal government told us that over 34 trillion of the bank allocation, they could not find it? Is that not a fact? All this other money that are missing, have they explained anything to you? They are talking as if this is the only money that is missing under the watch. No, it is not the only money. Under this Tinubu administration, the humongous amount of money that are missing is more than enough to set up an entirely new country.
That's basically the problem. The missing funds and no pattern to investigate, to audit, nothing. It's and there's no explanation. Money, we just hear money's come out and they say it's gone somewhere. Nobody tells us who did it, where they did it, how they did it, and then there's no panel set up to investigate it. And before you know, another issue comes up that overrides that.
So, Esther, the 210 trillion that is living on the table of the president, have anything been done on that? The FCC chairman, national chairman, did he not tell you that yes, the matter is on the table table? Up to today, that humongous amount of money, is anybody talking about it in Nigeria? So, if you do not talk about that money, is it just other grandma money that you are going to talk? The leader said that if you take care of the baby, the pound will take care of itself. If you did not look for that 210 trillion, Esther, why are you worrying your head with all this peanuts, all this, nothing will be done or nothing will be said. They saw the black IMF after the end of the matter. They shrouded it with so much English and grammar. Meanwhile, the thing is not captured anywhere. No national assembly has appropriated anything. That is why the IMF has to raise that issue. If it is appropriated, would have done and would have seen it. It is not. This other money that even the federal government has to say that they didn't see it. What happened to it? So what happened to all those money? So it's not, I'm not even bothered with all this things because I'm not surprised because I'm always told the answer. A snake will always be a snake. A snake will always be long. When you are serving the God of Mammon, money will not be enough, Esther. God of Mammon, the more money you bring to him, the more you ask him to bring. And that is a fact. Go and look at what is Mammon. There are people that are worshiping that religion. Mammon religion is a religion. And their God is God of money. That is all. So the more money you bring, the more they will ask, because they are using it to recruit more members in church and food. I told you here that somebody is blackmailing Nigeria. Nobody listens to me. Our money is going into somewhere, bottomless pit. You will never find out. You will never find out where this money is going because no proof as to where this money went. Somebody is blackmailing Nigeria. And the government, for them to retain their position, they are succumbing, they are agreeing, you know. So, there are no two ways about it. The one you are talking about that is going to America, was it appropriated, Esther? That kind of money that is due to America, to lobby and to what, was it appropriated? Did the National Assembly appropriate it?
But by some countries lobby.
Esther.
Sir?
You lobby with appropriated money. You don't just carry taxpayers' money to go and lobby for what? Donald Trump, with all his power, he cannot spend $1 they will pay for it. That if they have a visitor that was not, they will pay for that visitor's food and whatever. He said it. And that is how the system works. I'm not joking. When I watched one film called Air Force One, the chief of staff to the president, who was one of the people the terrorists captured, he said that he's the only person who can say something. Because even in their system of government, the president cannot take a cup of tea without his approval. He said it. That is how government works, Esther, not here.
Alright, so what exactly is a fuss about all of these monies and what do they intend to use it for? Especially monies that they cannot account for us or tell us precisely what they utilize it either at federal or state level. The reason why I'm asking this question, Barry Series, is that nowadays for the next dispensation, could everything just be about elections or something else? Because we hear about massive corruption taking place in that cabinet, and I don't know if the president is aware of all of this, because I remember the situation about the 800 billion naira, obviously, that the governors supposedly took from the FANC account for the Renewed Hope initiative or the Renewed Hope agenda. And you know that the president of the Governors Forum or the leader of the Governors Forum then was Hope Uzodinma. And it escalated, it got out to the public, and then they said the president intervened and that Hope Uzodinma was asked to refund that money. We don't know if he did refund it, but such a thing happens and no head rolled, so the president had to intervene. This same thing also took place with the 210 trillion naira situation with Wunti, where we heard allegedly a phone conversation in Hausa with the APC chairman, all declaring how they will infuse Wunti quietly into the APC so that questions will not be asked and nobody will set up a panel at the National Assembly. And then he confirmed that the president was aware of this and he said he was going to handle it on 4 different occasions. And they were even choosing what position in the Senate or whatever position in the House of Rep that Wunti will be given. And up to today, Barrister, nothing. We do know that this 210 trillion naira you always emphasize was from 2017 to 2023. So obviously, Tinubu wasn't the president at the time. Don't you think this would have been a very good opportunity for him to expose the wrongs in the NNPCL? And since Nigeria is looking for funds from all quarters, that fund, if it is recovered, will actually beef up the budget since there's no money to finance it.
Yes, sir. I have told you here, nobody should come and tell me that Nigeria does not have money. And I'm waiting for any time any APC person will come and tell me that Nigeria does not have money, we are looking for money. That person will not find this money with me, seriously. Because a country that does not have money cannot behave like this. You cannot behave like this. Do you know that from that 2017 to 2023, according to them, if you begin to calculate, that means every year, 30 trillion is missing from that NNPCL. Don't do your calculation, 30 trillion every year for that 7 years. That is what it amounted to, 210 trillion. So, precisely, it's like it is a mandate, it is an order. Make sure you bring out 30 trillion from that place every year. And that is what it amounted to. So, if you cannot look for that kind of money, if it is Nigeria, I don't even know why they are not raising hell over that money. Not to talk of Bajajami and 1.3 billion naira. These are peanuts now compared to that kind of money. So if we did not look for that money, everyone has seen anybody telling me here, I will not be at this because we are just trying to talk. Not that something will come out of it. Has anything happened that will shake you in office? Anything, and for everything, with all we are using and what we are seeing. Imagine if APC were in no position and this is happening later. They would have said this country as place. Seriously. They would have said this country as place. But look at Nigeria, we have been hypnotized. We have been hypnotized. That's why nobody is saying anything. So I will not be surprised if I will not go. Whatever you are trying to read out now, you just want to talk answer. Nothing will come out of it. I told you the first day this Bajajami thing happened. I told you nothing will come out of it. Because this is directly under Tinubu's office. When you drive the Bajajami, you are driving through. Is that what you wanted to do? No, tell me, whenever you mention Bajajami will come to court to testify at it. Both So why are they investigating now? Why are they investigating now? That investigation will last in 2028. Oh. You see this investigation, it will never end. Just like every other investigation, it will never end. They are just buying time. When things cool down now, you see what they will come out with. You will see what they will come out with. They send their hirelings all over the media to go and defend it.
Well, the supporters are already doing it. Actually.
So what do you expect? That's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. And I want to advise President Adeni, be very careful with your life. Oh. Don't become a Bola or Fosho Williams or so many others that you and I know. Don't, because nothing will happen. No. Nothing will happen. If you disappear tomorrow, nothing will happen. They will say it's unknown government. They will go and bring one useless boy who will not say, yes, we shot him, or we thought he was an armed robber. They will give all manner of excuses. And somebody will defend it.
Marisa, if we're to look at a brief inkling or a brief insight into monies, all right, or finances that have been called to be audited into specific sectors that has allegedly, been unremitted or mismanaged. In the NNPCL sector in 2024, let's not even look at the 210 trillion naira that accumulated from 2027 to 2023, but under Tinubu's government. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, they filed a lawsuit against the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited over 500 billion naira in 2024 crude oil revenues that allegedly vanished before being remitted to the federal account. You also have the Ministry of Power and NPET with 361 billion naira also missing. SERAP is urging the presidency to investigate 128 billion naira flagged by the Auditor General within the Ministry of Power, including 95 billion naira in undocumented contractor payments, alongside another 233 billion naira allegedly unaccounted for by the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading. That's NPET. You now have the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry. Following the high-profile suspension of Ms. Madam Betta Edu in 2024, subsequent anti-corruption investigations revealed that over 44 billion naira was allegedly routed through irregular or fraudulent transactions within the ministry. You also have Budget Civic Monitoring Arm Tracker publishing a project tracking report revealing that 92 federal government funded projects worth 15.07 billion naira under the Tinubu's administration were fraudulently delivered via project diversions or payments for unexecuted work. And in all of this, we've not heard of a panel being set up to investigate this, despite SERAP suing the government to come and asking it to take account for it. So when we ask this question, sometimes it makes it seem as if you just want to paint the government in bad light. But is it bad to ask for accountability in public spending with our taxpayers' monies when you see tax being slammed on people?
When Tinubu wants to make statements, he will be giving himself a pass mark. He'll be talking to himself in glowing pattern. He'll be telling you how good he has been in all those things. And wonderful Nigerians will buy it. This thing you read as Maestra, is it not enough to bring a government down? In a Senate class, can this thing happen? Please, Esther, in a Senate class, can this ever happen? And this is happening under Tinubu. Under Tinubu. He will never mention things like this in all his speeches. No, he will not. Rather, he will tell you things that are not there. He will tell you things that he did not even do as one of the things they have done. Meanwhile, the real issues about the economy, he will not mention this. He will not. So, I have told you, my dear, I think you are overtrying yourself, trying to realize this thing. Because nothing will come out of it.
No, but Marisa, we can't keep saying that there is no need to highlight this. I mean, that's our responsibility. That's our jobs. If you expect citizens to perform reasonably, if you expect citizens to be civil, if you expect them to perform their civic responsibility, why can't you also hold yourself in that esteem? So you can take monies, taxpayers' monies put together for you that you take from businesses, you take from companies, and People are literally cannot even be able to meet up with the tax. And yet you use these monies and you can't tell them what you used it for. Mineral resources meant for all Nigerians are being exploited by the few, and the people are made to pay the consequences of such actions. So every day you tell Nigerians, bear with us at their own expense, but you're living in absolute luxury. Your cabinet is overbloated. Departments and agencies unaccounted for are existing. Money is allocated to them, and nobody is saying anything. And you're saying that we should not bother ourselves about that? Beyond politics, though, I mean, even if we know that no human being is perfect, the basic thing is to be done. One of them is accountability, transparency in governance. You owe it to Nigerians to tell us what you use all these monies for. You borrow from the National Assembly, you borrow from the World Bank, you borrow from the IMF, you borrow from the United Arab Emirates, you borrow from all these countries, from even the Islamic Bank, Organization of Islamic Banks. You borrow monies from these countries, say you want to use to beef up our budget, you have capital projects that you need to finance, and at the end of the day, we're hearing billions, trillions diverted, missing, funneled to somewhere else, and you think we should not ask questions, Barrister?
Answer. The question we have been asking and we are not getting answered. Is it not better we just remain calm and allow this corruption to continue?
No, Barrister, you cannot advise that on national radio. It's our responsibility to, in case certain persons are asleep and do not understand their responsibilities, or in case government deliberately decides to be redundant, we need to continue to talk about this.
Okay. You have all the time now. You will have your say, but people will have who will have his way. Is that not the end of the matter? Talk from now to tomorrow. I'm blaming EFCC that are pursuing the Yahoo boys. Because these boys are kneeling from their fathers. When you are stealing all this money, extorting all this money, is it not 419 that you are doing to the people? You take money from them and you don't render services. You take money from NEPA bill, you extort money from people, and there's nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, you are pursuing Yahoo boys who spend all the night trying to meet their pay masters abroad. Those guys are even working hard. In your own case, just sit in an office and use Bible. So what is the difference here? Have you seen why the policy is heavily corrupt, polluted? The youth are no longer interested in working because they are seeing what is going on in government offices. They are seeing it. They are hearing it. So on one ground now, what moral right do you have to chase this bus all over the place? What moral right do you have? When you are the one that taught them how to what they are doing. So it will be difficult to exert this government leave of disaster. Nigeria is ready for doom. Seriously. Except they leave us because it's like they don't want to hear. They are not interested. They are not interested in Esther. The world is so much that you cannot begin to think about it or talk about it. Did you see the amount of money you read down? These are the ones that are known. There are many that is unknown to us. Many. Like this one that I mean again, if not for his greed and lack of emotional intelligence, he shouldn't have exposed himself. He thought that that time the guy will see a pushover.
Well, Barrister, the matter in court is not being decided who is at fault here. It's just like it's mentioned, because based on what the report states, Majabi Amina was one that reported this fake agency, was one that brought it to the notice of the DSS.
Because he knew that the lead has been blown. When this guy refused to give you the participants, and he told the guy told him to go to hell. That's why when he now said, okay, I will tell you that I'm the chief of staff. And then the rest is history now. If they had killed him, because we have had good story. On these 2 years when they wanted to assassinate him, already the court between who collected the 40 million has been assassinated. Esther. That guy would have been allowed to tell the whole story or his own part of the project. They silenced him and the police recovered the Esther. So how can you tell me that he reported because he was one that set it up. He's the one, he knows about that agent, he's the one that said it. So why was he collecting money from that guy if he did not know about it?
Well, that's what the guy said, but he's denying everything. The presidency is denying. Another guy is denying it. But we've not had any official statement or reference from the president. So maybe by our speech from the president himself.
Good talk. Yes, you are very correct. So the man put his own inside the budget and he gave himself up to
well, he has brought down all his social media handles and the website of that particular controversial agency. He has brought everything down. We don't know if it is by the lawyers, if it is a lawyer's suggestion or some subtle threats.
Who brought it down?
The man did. I mean, those websites, all those pictures, the videos, his handle, everything. He's brought it down. So we don't know if it was under advisement.
The federal government or the Budget will tell us how he got entangled with that agency. How come it was the name that was mentioned? How come? All the other things that the guy displayed, yes, sir, is not enough evidence, I mean. All the high state officials that he met, all the international executives that came to meet him and then discussed, it's not enough, I mean. The people that are paying salary and all that, look, there are things you cannot deny, no matter how you try. I've told you here, 6 months old pregnancy, you cannot deny it. It will be showing. What they are looking now, what they are buying now is the time to cover up. They are looking for opportunity. They are struggling for all the shenanigans to cover this rush. They are looking for a way to cover it up. That's what is going to happen here now. There's no other explanation. Why is Bajajel not talking extra? Why have you not made a statement in this matter?
Well, he's the culprit. I mean, he's one of the alleged, will I say, performers in this situation. He's indicted here, so he cannot come out to defend himself if the case is in court.
So why is the police investigating only and not Bajajel? Why? So you can see that somebody is trying to cover up for somebody here. This Bajajel he doesn't have a clean hand from United States where he practices law up to here. Is he a clean person? As the senator, he cannot do such a thing. Is he a clean person? Please.
All right, Barrister, very quickly, the United States of America has said that they'll be paying a very close attention to the 2027 elections. There's a collaboration right now. The U.S. troops, they've left Nigeria, but there's going to be like a synergy cooperation, like entity, unit formed to help tackle insecurity, like updates to continue tackling insecurity and partnerships thereof. And, the House of Rep member Ryan Moore disclosed that, yes, Trump and they will be monitoring the 2027 elections very keenly. Now, Barrister, last month was the final month that a judge gave for the records of the president to be exposed or given to Aaron Greenspan, the owner of Plainsight. He was the one who says freedom of information bill to have access to the president's records. Now, some Nigerians say we've moved on from that. We're no longer dealing with this, right? But for clarity's sake, let's have access to the records. And June was the deadline. We have not really seen anything yet. But all of these circumstances surrounding the administration of the president, like we say, brazen corruption, and obviously division in the polity, have drawn the eye and the attention of the US to say, we want to monitor these elections, but will it make any difference? They usually monitor elections in Nigeria anyway. They give their own report at the end of the day, like they did in 2023. So the fact that they're focusing on the elections very keenly, is it going to change anything?
Yes.
How?
This time around, Tinubu got away in 2023 with all the packages he carried. This time around, I don't think he will take it though. Because some groups are already in court over the certificate. And the US are releasing some documents. So we are going to pursue it vigorously this time around. The United States should help us here. If they want Nigeria to move forward, they should help us with those documents so that somebody can go to court with it. We don't want the people to continue to rule Nigeria because he has messed up. The first project we gave him, Nigeria has gone down already. So the next 4 years, if he makes it to Azora, we will be buried for Nigeria. And we don't want that. He has shown so much incompetence that he doesn't know what is governance. Esther, you cannot give what you don't have. It's not possible. From day one, I never believed in him because I know him. I know him when he was in Lagos here. He was ruling Lagos and Prosi. He never did anything in Lagos except what? Media propaganda. And then throwing money all over the place to those who will do the thing. Nothing else. It's the same thing he's doing in Nassau now. Look at all the people he surrounded himself with. Undesirable elements. Undesirable elements.
But those are his boys, those are his people.
Are you serious? The boys that are still taking work for you, I think. When was the Tinubu allowed them to do to disobey court order? Enter. Who is the Tinubu command to Tinubu? What is he doing for him? Please, somebody should tell me here. What is this silence about this guy and what he's doing in Abuja? That the police are not guarding him. He's not moving convoy. These are the issues here. So when you surround yourself with people like that, you don't need to disclose who Tinubu is. They say if you tell me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. Tinubu have nothing to offer Nigeria. Don't listen to you. Enter, don't morality. Nothing to show for it in government. You just appropriate the Ministry of Finance and CPN. Whenever you need money, they just bring it to you and you squander it. All this money you mentioned, are they not sort of? They get them from CPN or from Ministry of Finance. Is that not true? These are the two institutions that are considered of our money. So how could that money lead them to the president and they will squander it? I am very sure that in future, and also will tell us that one day will tell us how the lesson is and what happened. He will tell us. He will tell the story one day. That is true for you. Anybody he appoints must obey. He must do what he wants. If you refuse, you are the gunner. Whether it is right or not, you must do it. That is true for you. That is what he does. So all these people around him, they are just moving according to his dictates. Whatever he tells them, that's what they do, whether it is right or not. Don't ever advance people with your profession, or don't tell you as professional. You say what's profession? I do not employ you here for your profession alone. I employ you here to obey order. That's what he will tell you. Go and ask the deputy governor with you, that woman, Bokuna Kirele. Answer why she quarreled with Tinubu. So this guy, he has that tendency. And something you present from childhood, how do you live it and don't you?
They say that when it comes to mankind, there's eligibility for change, which is a constant in life. You know, it's just the fact that somebody was introduced into crime and the person got into it. At some point, the person may say, I want to stop this. I don't want to continue anymore. And you stop and you live a different life. So, I mean, if somebody is being attributed to have been of a certain kind, you would have thought that with age and experience, that changes will be impacted, discipline will be advanced. I mean, what would you say to that? The way you are now is not the way you were 20 years ago. Your way of reasoning now is not the way you reasoned 10 or 15 years ago.
No, they say that age comes with wisdom.
Yes.
So tell me what wisdom and intelligence you can attribute to Tinubu now. Just tell me. One good thing you can go to bank with and it will not bounce. Just mention it to me. It got worse. It's like as Tinubu is 80, it got worse. Esther, do you know that if Tinubu has found a new leaf, and sincerely speaking, in fact, 80% of his bad speech would have been forgotten by people. Is that not true? 80% people would have forgotten his past and everything. But it got worse. It got worse. Under his watch, look at how Nigeria is. Under his watch. And he keeps telling us about reform. You have to say, where is the reform? You know, when the government is failing, they will look for one particular thing to hold on to.
Yeah, the president is prioritizing on road infrastructure, road projects. Last week, 27 roads were approved to be budgeted for, given money for them to continue with the project. And the president said that that's the best way for economic transformation and commercialization.
So, after the road, spirits will not be working on the road as it's not human being. Why is people not paying attention to security and economy? No, can you just tell me why?
And that's a very good question, especially economy, because one, he didn't really emphasize on security in 2023. His question was on employing more soldiers into the military, economic restructuring.
Good. It is very simple. They will not make money from these places. They will not make money. How this road contract, go and check. Was it costed? Was it needed for? This road they are constructing, can you tell us, are we getting value for the road that is constructing for us? Are we getting value for it? You think this guy, look, what asked Fashola, why he never had a commissioner of works throughout his tenure? Because Fashola was commissioner of works under Tinubu for the 8 years. And the because they saw what happened. That was why Fashola did not agree. When somebody wanted to choose a commissioner of works who be reporting to him, Fashola refused. And all the road projects under Fashola was done through the level under the Ministry of Works. What asked? What asked? So these are the issues. I said the easiest way to eat money is this road construction. A road that will cost 10 billion, they will ask 000, it will become 100 billion. And that is the easiest way to eat money, especially.
But Barrister, findings indicate that unfortunately this malady or this Malay has been a recurrent pattern already in government. But it was something done subtly, not exposed. It wasn't brazenly put out there. So what happened this time around? Why the nonchalancy and the no care to expose all of these things, and possibly you feel that Nigerians can do nothing about it?
Because the man who knows how to do this thing properly is not in charge. You know, there are people who are afraid of stealing money. So when they see money, when they see government money, they will say, let me take small, let me take small, you know, and they will be afraid of touching the money because of tomorrow. But there are people who will come into office, they will collect all the money. They will collect all the money and wait for it.
So if all of this is happening now, what happens if the APC comes back in 2027? Because they are very confident that they would come back because the opposition is in tatters. That's what they said. So if Nigerians and the opposition, because the opposition cannot do it alone, it's for Nigerians to decide what they want for themselves. But if they come back, then what will be the expectation? Do you think that maybe then the president can settle to do work?
Nigerians may not take it to.
Are you sure?
After what Nigerians suffered under Buhari for 8 years, people now came and make the thing worse for another 8 years. So I don't think so.
Let me give you an instance. I went to the market last weekend, and when I was speaking with the woman, I was like, your stuff is expensive. Baba has said you should reduce this, that this is not the official rating. And then she was like, she tried to make reference to the fact that the administration is senile in how they think in terms of economic policy implementation. But that if they survived 80 years of Buhari, they can survive 80 years of the president. Let him just do his thing and go. I mean, that's the impression, that was the expression she gave. So you have a couple of persons with such mindset.
That is one woman talking to you. Who have sampled the opinion of the majority of Nigerians and see whether they will give you the same opinion. People are just waiting. Once you put them to the wall, you now know that Nigerians can react. Nobody believes that answers could happen in this country, but it happened. And so, that thing that the APC is looking for, they will get it. If by 2027, they reach themselves into power and continue this rubbish, answer. I don't need to be told what will happen. Yes, after all, it has happened in so many other countries before the grain of their leaders plan is set. So if Tinubu doesn't want to learn from what happened to other people, so be it. So be it.
Barrister Dante, thank you so much for your time. We need to get reactions of Nigerians very quickly. The political spotlight doesn't have enough time like the evening rush. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time to give us your perspective and your opinion to the issues discussed this evening on the political spotlight.
You're balanced. It's too low.
Hey, Barrister, thank God you finished though.
Nigeria's strong diplomatic ties with the Vatican, pledging continued support for interfaith dialogue as a tool to tackle Nigeria's security challenges. And what a FIFA World Cup talking point. U.S. striker of Nigerian descent, Folarin Balogun, has his red card ban suspended, reportedly triggered by a personal call from President Donald Trump to FIFA President Gianni Infantino. Let's dive right in. I am Oji Okwe, and this is what's trending. Now, before we dive deeper, let's see what you're talking about right now. We've been tracking conversations on X, Facebook, our YouTube live feed, and of course, Leke. And 3 stories are dominating your timelines this morning. Trending at number 1, WTO Director General Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is going viral after stealing the show at the World Trade Organization's Open Day in Geneva, dancing to traditional drummers alongside Nigerian masquerades and dancers. Nigeria is bursting with pride. Trending at number 2, a statement from U.S. Congressman Riley Moore is generating fierce debate and fierce reactions online after he declared that the United States will be paying very close attention to how Nigeria's 2027 elections are executed. And trending at number 3, a story that reads like fiction, but is devastatingly real. Gospel Kinani, who was last seen at the age of 14 in 2007, has been found alive inside a Port Harcourt correctional facility 18 years later. His parents searched for him and both died knowing or never knowing where he was. We have the details. Now, here is where you come in. Join the conversations. Use the hashtag What's Trending with OGOPE. Comment on our live feed, and of course, Leke. Tell me which of these 3 stories matters most to you. Because for the next hour, we're going into everything that has Nigeria and the rest of the world buzzing. But first, the federal government of Nigeria has described comments made by South Africa's minister in the presidency as derogatory and unprofessional after she rejected Nigeria's compensation demand and asked the country to reveal the locations of alleged Nigerian drug dens in South Africa as xenophobic violence continues to gain momentum. Let's watch.
If you own a property in South Africa, it's registered. If it's a house, it's registered with the deeds register, Office of the Deeds Register. If you own a car, it's registered in the in-night system. If you own a business, it's registered with the CIPC. If you're renting offices, they're registered with landlords. But we'll be interested to know where the drug dens of Nigerians are. So they can show us where they've been holding the drugs so that we can clean the drugs in South Africa quite easily.
those who had properties in South Africa, those properties are in the law. Informal squatter camps and informal settlements are never properties because they are illegal in the country. So you are already violating our law if you're going to tell us about a shack in some informal settlement. That's why we've also, as government, approved the PI, what is the protection of, the one that makes sure that when we evict and remove informal settlements, there's no longer going to be informal settlements built in the areas, including the evictions in the informal settlements, in line with our court judgments. So, if there's no compensation that will come from government, those who leave their properties, if they are properly legally registered in the country, they can dispose of the properties in the property market in South Africa, whether it's a movable or immovable property. And we are going to seriously appreciate to be told where are the drug dens. Thank you very much. Now, South Africa's minister's comments come as Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed that 2 Nigerians have been killed in South Africa's security custody. Emeka Charles Iregu was killed after police officers used gruesome interrogation techniques, and Nnamdi Matthew Andrew Ekpa, who died in the custody of the Swano Metro Police, with a search of his residence yielding no incriminating evidence whatsoever. A third Nigerian, Musa Yuna Joe, also known as Big Joe, was killed by unidentified attackers in front of his shop, according to the statement. These are not just statistics. These are men with names, with families, who went to South Africa to work and build a life. And as Nigeria mourns, South Africa's minister in the presidency has not only rejected the compensation demand, but asked Nigeria to reveal its drug dens, if I can imagine. A remark the federal government has rightly described as derogatory and unprofessional. Now, the 2 Nigerians are dead, allegedly at the hands of South African security forces. This diplomatic crisis is far from over, and Nigeria will not be silent. But the question that demands an answer is this: if South Africa's own security forces are killing Nigerians, who exactly is protecting them? Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Rufai, I came to you because I'd like for you to, unpack this story. I mean, you saw the minister over the weekend trending because of, the remarks she made about Nigerians and the drug den. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about legitimate businesses that have been seized, and this is the sort of statements, rhetorics that cause this that fuels this xenophobic attacks. Your comments?
So, I think I said on this platform that the government of South Africa is complicit. I made it as a statement then, I didn't have facts. But after this interview with Richard Itoro, we have facts because he stated that the key participants in this protest were given Hilux vans by the government of South Africa. That's an eyewitness of account of someone that stays in South Africa. Oji, I don't like to respond to flippant ministers from South Africa. Because, you see, it shows the way they see us. For us to have the effrontery to say that Nigeria lives in shacks, maybe that's what she lives as a minister. Our entire mindset is a shack itself. So, you don't expect her to say anything better for Nigerians that are hardworking in the country. Like I said, they will pay compensation. And not be today, at some point. They will pay compensation. All of this she's saying is utter rubbish. Richard Itoro stated here that he was paying mortgage on a home worth 1.2 million rand. That's over 100 million naira. The mail trail of the mortgage is there. Do they pay mortgages on shacks? The agent is there. So there are evidence to these trails. He said cumulatively all his assets there, and this is just one person, was worth about 3-point-something million rand. I don't know, I have not done the calculation, but I think that should be in the range of about 300 million naira. So that's like close to $500 million. These are documented assets. So when this minister is saying people live in shacks, they have evidence of their assets, they will pay compensation. See, when we are ready with South Africa, when our government is ready with them, it's not all this Mpumulanga minister that is talking with that mouth, all this Wena that will be talking. When we start to do it at the government-to-government basis, this one will not even be there to see anything. So all this one, they can gesticulate and they can be jaguroing, be talking because they want to win election and favor their local base. And another thing, Onji, we've come to realize is that most Nigerians, they are not illegals. I asked him again, because there's another narrative. Yeah. And almost everybody being harassed in South Africa illegals. No.
No, we had our airpiece flights. We had our reporters on ground. I'm asking the returnees questions, and they were all legal there, and they had their documents. And
so they are not illegal, so they will pay. They leave all these ones. Who are these ones on the pecking order by government appointment? They will pay. We are coming.
All right, but I'm glad that the federal government has responded fiery. I mean, really quickly, Dr. Batsi.
The thing to add is that earlier on, we had said Nigeria could follow the example of Ghana and report the South Africans to the African Union Commission. However, the international body that resolves disputes between states is International Court of Justice, the ICJ. Will Nigeria be willing to go a step further and declare a dispute with South Africa at the level of the International Court of Justice? Because a paragraph in that statement that was issued yesterday morning by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs made it clear that South Africa is complicit. South Africa has failed to discharge its responsibility to protect under international customary law. And 3, Nigeria is calling for an investigation, and Nigeria is saying that South Africa itself should investigate March on March, one of the anti-immigrant groups, and also Operation Udara. I hear this, junior minister in the presidency comes along, and she just spilling hate and blackmailing Nigerians for problems that were caused by the objective conditions in South Africa itself. If the South Africans say they don't have employment, if they say they don't have jobs, if they say they don't have prosperity, appetite, it is for the South African government to address that. It's not the problem of people from Zimbabwe or from Zambia or outsiders. And then I wonder what some of those former apartheid figures will be thinking now. They will say, well, we seem to have been vindicated. Even Donald Trump is likely to say, well, by pulling out what South Africans willing ones out of South Africa, he knew that this is how these South Africans the job is on the South Africans.
Absolutely.
But the Nigerian government, in the sense of protecting its citizens and pursuing citizen diplomacy, may well go to the International Court of Justice. Because if you are expecting that compensation will be given just like that, the South African government has made it clear it's not going to pay compensation. They are even calling us a country of drug dealers.
Yes.
What insult?
Country of drug dealers. We want justice for those Nigerians that have been killed. 3 of them so far, according to the statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But we also saw Big Joe. We took that story live here on What's Trending. We demand justice. And we need our property back from South Africa, really. All right. Now, to a new explosive details that are emerging in the presidency's fake agency scandal. And they are raising far more questions than the presidency's statement has answered. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Temitope Ajayi, has confirmed that the police established a Adeyemi's appointment letter was forged, stating that the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, does not issue appointment letters, and that only the secretary to the government of the federation does, making Adeyemi's claim a red flag from the start. Let's take a look.
We don't know yet how he got a forged letter of appointment. It is clear, I've seen the police report, that the signature of chief of staff to the president was forged. And then if you have seen the letterhead on which the so-called appointment was written, it shows that the State House letterhead has
also forged state house letterhead. Because on the state house letterhead, there is no contact telephone address or contact telephone number of state house letterhead. On his own, on his purported appointment letter, there is, so anybody who understands the way the system works, we know that it is pure scam and forged document.
Well, in the meantime, an independent investigation by a civil society organization, Good Governance Group, has uncovered a far more alarming layer to this story. While Prince Adeyemi, the DG of the fake agency, was arrested in October 2025 and charged in November 2025, the budget code titled Presidential Economic Advisory Council, Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council was quietly inserted into the 2026 executive budget during the very same months with a 1.3 billion naira allocation. And here is the crucial detail that explains how it slipped through. The name Presidential Economic Advisory Council was not invented. It was borrowed from a real Buhari-era body established in September 2019 with real members, a real mandate, and a legitimate place in government records that was never formally dissolved. When Tinubu came to power, a budget reviewer seeing that name would not immediately flag it as suspicious because something by that name genuinely existed under a previous president. That is the camouflage. 10 specific program lines, detailed submissions written in correct budget language, and it survived every single review stage and was signed into law by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on April 17, 2026. 3 senior civil servants were officially posted to the fake agency by the Office of the Accountant General, sitting in an empty office for weeks with absolutely nothing to do. Ayo, this investigation reveals that Adeyemi allegedly borrowed the same name of a dormant Buhari-era body, inserted it into Nigeria's budget with 10 specific program lines. He secured office space at the Federal Secretariat and had 3 civil servants officially posted to him by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, all with a forged letter. And yet, despite being arrested in October 2025 and charged in November 2025, Adeyemi is not behind bars. Nigerians are asking so many questions. Ayo, Serap has responded, but I'd like your comment before I read part of Serap's response.
All right, thank you. So I think this is like an onion. The more you unravel, the more you see more to unravel, and many questions.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why it's important for us to get to the bottom of this matter, and why, thankfully, we cannot afford to sweep it under the carpet, is that it is such a huge scandal, and it points to, even leave the scandalous part of it, is that it would also point us to areas that we institutionally need to address, where there are gaps, where there are holes, where there are opportunities for forgery. Because like Dr. Fademi, who was our guest earlier on, had said, it's like we need to now even protect the president, because if somebody can take on this level of fraud, how many more exist within the presidency? How many agencies are there that are fake? How many people are in positions where they are hosting international potential investors and do not have any kind of formal recognition, and it's a forward position? And then I dare say that you cannot embark on this level of forgery at the level of government that Mr. Adeniyi did without such footprints. Well, we need to verify his real prints, because now we have to really verify everything about the man and see to what extent he is true. But it would be a shock to me and surprising if a man like this can take on this kind of fraud without an insider. It would almost be impossible. Because a few questions that have been asked in public space. Number one is that there was a budget defense that was done. Yes, I understand he used the name that existed, but who represented that agency in the budget defense? Was anybody there to represent if there was anything at all? Who signed the appointment letter? They say it was forged. But it means that someone can forge the documents at that level and it would pass through to the extent of opening a CBN account. There are questions to be asked, and I'm sorry, heads have to roll. If not, we will not learn lessons. Because how are we sure that the man that is standing behind the president protecting him was given an appointment letter that was not on the letterhead? It compromises. No, what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that if this can happen, anything can happen. And for the credibility of this government, they must find out and get to the bottom of this. So that we do not have thousands. We have ghost workers. Now we now have 4 agencies and ghost agencies that should not exist and are receiving budgetary allocation. So for the good of this nation and to engender trust to the people, we have to get to the bottom. Who are those? In fact, Dr. Fabemi suggested earlier on that some principal people should go on administrative leave until this matter is fully addressed, investigated. Agencies are created by law. Okay, DG's office, the office of whatever it is that he was occupying. There are many areas where this happened, and if a fake, well, they call it a fake agency. So whoever created the agency, if one could have existed and had such backends, including a CBN TSA account, questions must be asked.
All right, I'll take a tweet from Sarah. They wrote, "We've urged the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, to urgently disclose certified copies of all documents relating to the consideration and approval of the allocation of over 1.3 billion naira to the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, Presidential Economic Advisory Council in the 2026 Appropriation Act. We also urge them to provide certified copies of records identifying the members of the National Assembly committees that considered the allocation and the names and official designation of all public officers or representatives who appeared before those committees to defend the proposed allocation. Nobody has a more sacred obligation to obey the law than those who make the law. The National Assembly ought to keep an eye on what the executive is doing and to keep the presidency and agencies of government in check, including before and during the appropriation process, by thoroughly scrutinizing executive's budget proposal before any authorization." I mean, very well said. For me, this is where the ball was dropped. At the National Assembly, the Budget Office, again, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. How did this slip the crack? You want to speak, Dr. Batek?
Sarah is making that request under the FOI Act.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just enough to say this is what Sarah is saying.
Correct.
But, the application should go under the FOI Act.
Right.
And I hope that the National Assembly will respect that request.
Okay.
I think what we're not talking about is, we keep saying, yes, this person dropped the ball. But there's been a mail trail hitherto. There's been constant correspondence between this fake agency, Office of the Accountant General, Office of this and that, even the Senate, as regards training and all of that. So everybody is complicit in this. It's deeper than you think. Because all those correspondents over the weekend are now coming out. So it's not just a new thing. Another question you should ask is, when the NIPC flagged it that you have a duplicity of duty, after the NIPC flagged it, the Chief of Staff minuted on it, and then this still went through in the budgets. That shows another layer of complicity. So when they keep calling this agency fake, they say, yes, agencies are created by law. I like to take that big fake with a pinch of salt. Because there were hitherto correspondence across all of this ecosystem. Another part of this puzzle, we need to now go back and investigate this Tani Mola person. The condition of his death, the credibility of his death. I mean, we all know the Gloria Okon situation in this country. Nigeria is a very interesting country. So the investigation is just even starting, if they allow it to happen.
Yes, you're right. The investigation is just...
It speaks to incompetence, it speaks to institutional failure and lack of credibility.
Yes, well, the police is saying those fake correspondents have been identified as fake, so we need to see more of that sort of investigation. They have Temitope Ajayi says that The letter that he saw from the police says that Femi Gbajabiamila's letter was forged, his signature was forged, and in any case, it's not the office of the chief of staff that gives appointment letters. It is the office of the secretary to the government of the federation that gives the appointment letter. So that settles that at this point. Now, a statement from the US Congressman Riley Moore is generating fierce reactions in Nigeria after he declared in a recent statement that the United States will be paying very close attention to how Nigeria's 2027 elections are executed. Let's take a look.
As you may be aware, the elections are upcoming next year in Nigeria, 2027. I'm aware. Is there anything more that the United States can be doing in support, either politically or other ways, that really allow for a fair and free election over there, as opposed to just a formality?
Yeah, what I'd say is that we're certainly going to be watching these results and how these elections unfold and how they're executed. And that's something that myself and administration are going to be paying very close attention to.
Now, Moore's comments come against the backdrop of growing concerns about electoral integrity ahead of 2027, and Nigerians are reacting with a mix of skepticism and cautious hope. Many are questioning whether U.S. scrutiny will actually change anything on the ground, while others welcome any pressure that could deter electoral malpractice. And I'll take some reactions. Evelyn wrote on X, America paying close attention to Nigeria's election while INEC and the judiciary are still sorting out 2023 is noted. Attention is fine. The question is, what comes after it? Because international observation without consequence has never stopped anything in Nigeria. David wrote on X, well, we have heard this music before. USA should learn to back up words with action, sanction, freeze assets, and if possible, arrest election riggers when they come to America. Also reject rigged elections and don't recognize any government that come in through rigged elections. Rufai, your thoughts before I take more.
I mean, yes, America has said this constantly, but the question is, yes, I think in some areas they did mete out some decisions, in the past for people, based on the Magnitsky Act and all of that. But see, one thing I've come to notice is this. America is a sovereign nation with interests. Once a political dynamics is completed, America will normally align and try to work with whoever is a beneficiary of that election. Let's not deceive ourselves. This is just rhetoric. They say this all the time, but it doesn't mean it's practical. But I also want to flip it by asking, if the tables were turned, do we go and expect or have a word on American elections? It's just because of this unequal balance in the world that some people are getting excited that America has its own interests. Are America's elections too clean? Have you not heard accusation or counter accusation about the elections in America itself? Is it not the same American elections that you have a lot of back and forth as regards Russian interference? So the question is, who makes them the police of the world anyway? Economic power makes them the police of the world. Maybe when we grow that kind of economic power, we'll be able to have that influence. Maybe that's why Trump can call FIFA president and say, reverse red card for Fulani, and red card was reversed. I think what we should do and look at internally is, well, how we can also have our elections here that can be credible. We've done it in the past. We did it in 2015. I mean, that was an election where the winners and losers accepted their fates. Not to say there was no rigging in 2015, but there was some level of civility. Why can't we, also do things better here? But all this America with them in their life.
Because I teased that story in the headline, the red card thing. No, it's okay. I wanted to just ask. They said Larry did not deserve the red card. Is that something that you want to? Is it true? Okay, all right, fine, fantastic. No, it's perfect. I wanted to just say, because I teased it, that you say it's people are saying that they've analyzed it and it was a well. It was okay, fine. All right, fine. Now we told you we'll be reading your comments, and we'll take this comment from Noah on Leke regarding this US election story. Noah wrote on Leke, The United States will closely monitor the 2027 Nigeria's election, said Congressman Riley Moore. The question is, does that change anything? Will your report even hold water? Is it not clear that the Nigerian government chooses the report that pleases the government, not the truth? Well, let's keep monitoring, at least for record purposes, and that will be all. And that will be all. Well, thank you to our viewers. Thank you for sharing your posts with us from Leke Leke. We'll continue to highlight posts from Leke Leke as well. Let's now highlight the story that reads like fiction, but is devastatingly real. In 2007, a 14-year-old gospel Kinani from Ogoniland in River State disappeared without a trace, breaking the hearts of his parents, who both died in quick succession, never knowing what happened to their son. 18 years later, Gospel has now been found, not at home, not abroad, but inside the Nigerian Correctional Center in Port Harcourt. He is now 33 years old. Arise News correspondent Ovieteme George covered the story.
That very people did in the house. You know, 8 to 9 o'clock, from 9 o'clock to 10 in the morning, was young. My mother could not go anywhere, not go anywhere, so she could be here and there. If you this place yard, it's a correctional center. You go there almost 2 times.
Gospel's disappearance dealt his parents a fatal blow.
My mother be the first person to think and worry, say different things and died. Then my father also died. And it's part of this. And just like that.
Fortune, however, smiled on Paul when a legal practitioner took him to the correctional center to see someone he thought could be his missing brother.
When I get there, I just called him. I saw my brother outside. When he was sitting down, if you look at him, he was like no human being there. He was there, started crying. He was normal. When I get there, he was normal. And he just is. Because a old man cannot just take away from us, no information, no case file, nothing about it. And then drop in the prison yard for 18 years. Good 18 years. Now you come back on nonsense. Connect. No, there must be justice about it.
Really heartbreaking. Thank you, Ovieteme George, for uncovering the story. Now, Gospel's mental health is now a serious concern after 18 years of incarceration, and a 10 billion naira lawsuit has been filed against both the federal government and River State government over his wrongful detention. But here's the question that demands an answer. Who put a 14-year-old child behind bars? And why did nobody come looking for him for 18 years? Dr. Batson.
No, he did. His family looked for him. They went to hospitals. But the correctional center where he was eventually found, his brother said they had been there twice.
Yes.
Then what is the problem? He is known in that correctional center as Baridi Sunday, but they were looking for a person
exactly.
who had been given another name by the correctional center, and a new name, Baridi Sunday. So they were looking for Gospel Kinani, but the man inside in custody, was a Baridi Sunday, who did not exist to his family. Now, this is part of the problem with the administration of justice in Nigeria and with human dignity. This young man was said to have left home 18 years ago. At the time, he was 14 years old, and then he disappeared. Now, there's nowhere in Nigerian laws where wandering or loitering is an offense. There are many more of such persons that will be either in police detention or in correctional centers who were just arrested for wandering or for loitering. They will ask you, where is your identity card? You cannot produce it. The police will just dump you in their van, and from there you find yourself in prison for no offense whatsoever. This Baridi Sunday, he could have died in the correctional center, except that Justice Simon Amadi, because chief judges have the right sometimes to go to prisons and to try to do a review and free people. That's how he got lucky. Some people never get lucky. They die in custody. So this is the problem with, the protection of human dignity. The human beings' a person's right to life in this country. And this is, again, to use the phrase about institutional failure. And that's why we urge that there should be, in fact, an audit of all persons in our prisons or correctional centers, they now call them, who are awaiting trial persons or are persons, who have not been taken to court, whose offenses are even unknown. Those prisons are congested, the point has been made. And many of the persons there, they don't even know their offense. They don't even know who their contact persons are. And I think that to the extent that the responsibility of government is to ensure our fundamental human rights under Chapter 4 of the Constitution, this is a very embarrassing outcome. And I hope that the state and whoever is behind his unlawful detention for 18 years, he practically has lost his life, he now has mental issues, we ensure that he is properly rehabilitated, given the treatment, and compensated, and that his family will perhaps also file a suit immediately against the Nigerian government, to enforce his fundamental human rights under the laws of Nigeria.
Well, very well said, Dr. Martin. Thank you for your submission. Now let's take a look at some security stories. After more than 2 months in captivity, worshippers abducted during a Christ Apostolic Church crusade in Eda Oyo, in Ekiti State, have finally regained their freedom. The victims were kidnapped on April 28th after gunmen stormed the church, killed the officiating pastor, and abducted 16 worshippers. Now here is the moment the abductees regained their freedom, which has since gone viral. The community had reportedly raised 10.5 million naira, but the captive remained in the forest for over 2 months, enduring starvation, beatings, and severe abuse. Well, Nigerians are happy that the Ekiti victims are now free, but several other kidnapping victims, including students abducted in Oyo State, remain in captivity. The latest rescue has renewed calls for more proactive intelligence and faster security responses to prevent attacks before they occur. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed Nigeria's strong diplomatic ties with the Vatican, pledging continued support for interfaith dialogue as a tool to tackle Nigeria's security challenges. Tinubu rolled out the red carpet for Paul Gallagher, the Holy See's Secretary for Relations with States, at his residence over the weekend, ushered by Foreign Affairs Minister Bianca Ojukwu. The president said his administration remains committed to peace and religious harmony among Nigeria's diverse faith communities. Well, in Osun State, a dramatic confrontation as the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Dish, paid a visit to Governor Ademola Adeleke at the government house in Osogbo and dropped a bombshell alleging that criminal suspects wanted by the police are hiding inside the government house itself. Let's take a look.
That I've not heard from this area and everywhere I have lied, and I will explain everything to you one by one, sir. I've heard that we are not happy, and some people are not happy with the Commissioner of Police for this reason and that reason. He too has briefed me. He briefed me that some suspect is looking for impunity in the government house. I looked at that. If that is true, why should suspect be in government house? But I told him, as a police officer in charge, he has a way of going about all this. And I've heard that this party and that party are admitting suspect criminals.
Well, Governor Ademola Adeleke fired back, flatly denying the claims and issuing a striking personal challenge to the Inspector General of Police, declaring that if his own son is found guilty of any crime, he should be arrested. Now, with the Osun governorship election fast approaching, allegations of political interference, police neutrality, and the alleged harboring of criminal suspects are set to remain at the very center of this campaign. Nigerians are watching. Still in Osun State, an update on the Uni-Osun assault scandal. The Depot Nigeria Army Osogbo, in a viral post on X, says it has not yet received any formal complaint, medical report, or credible evidence to substantiate the rape allegations by students of Uni-Osun. The Army says it has launched a transparent investigation into allegations and is urging any victim or witness to come forward and present evidence directly to its board of inquiry. I mean, Ayo, can you imagine that? We're hearing, we did have a video about this woman saying that she was pushed to the door, she was, molested by the Army. Yes, the Army says they don't have enough evidence. Maybe we can send them that video one more time so they can see and maybe question the young woman who says that she was molested, really. But I'd like to take this story before I come to you, then you tie everything in together. And over in Edo State, traditional priests, priestesses, and worshippers have gathered in Benin City on the directive of Oba Ewuare II to perform ancestral rites against kidnappers, bandits, and other violent criminals. A video of the ceremony began trending over the weekend, showing a procession from the Oba's palace with libations, traditional rituals, and prayers invoking ancestral judgment on all criminals and their collaborators. Let's take a look. Says the rights are meant to complement, not replace government security efforts. Remember, we took this story and we told you that the Oba of Benin will lay a cost on these kidnappers really quickly.
Well, thanks for the update. So that once you deliver, you said it was going to happen and it has happened. Let's see to what extent that would solve the problem. But we have real issues on our hands. Koji, and you're just taking us through some very important security updates. The first of it, to kidnap victims. I don't know how many people watched that with their heart breaking, and it was a very difficult video to watch. And that is the price that you pay when you leave kidnapped victims in captivity for so long. There are still big questions to be answered. Thank God that these people are now back home. But who effected their release? But again, we ask, was anyone arrested? What kind of rescue operation happened? Because people are saying that they raised money for their ransom. Is this what we have descended to? A country where criminals make money after almost destroying the lives of... Look at the young people. Look at the women. This is a time when the nation ought to be crying at what we have turned our people to. Young people, even older people. It's a very difficult video to watch. Right. And I believe that this brings again to light that we still have children and adults, teachers, still in captivity from the Oyo State kidnapping, and nothing. They're entering their own 60th day very soon, and we haven't yet seen anything. I hope that there will be a lot of social, psychological support for these people, and I pray that they'll be able to be rehabilitated back into society. It is a very sad thing to watch. Home. Now to some cultural pride on the global stage, as Nigerian masquerades and traditional dancers stole the show at the World Trade Organization's Open Day in Geneva. The WTO threw open its doors to the public on Sunday, giving visitors a chance to tour the organization's headquarters, learn about its work, and admire the artworks on display. Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala took to X to share highlights. Let's take a look.
included China and Egypt and all those countries were together performing their open day right there at the WTO. I was very too proud to see this woman dancing, and it was beautiful to see. Now, over in the United States, the skies lit up with fireworks as the nation marked its 250th anniversary of independence over the weekend, one of the biggest celebrations in American history. President Donald Trump addressed hundreds of thousands of Americans on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., declaring the United States the crowning achievement of human history. Let's take a look.
In all the chronicles of the ages, never before has any nation celebrated so magnificent a triumph as this one. We are the freest people on earth. And by the grace of God, the United States of America is the most successful, most accomplished, the most exceptional nation ever to exist in human history. Liberty has prevailed here because of the culture and character of the people who declared it, defended it, and preserved it. We reach a milestone like no other. Celebrate with joyful hearts and soaring spirits because after 2.5 centuries, we know that this is not an ending. This is only the beginning of the golden age of America. Happy Independence Day to all. God bless you all. God bless you all.
Congratulations, America. The celebrations were extraordinary. President Trump described America as the greatest country in the world. He also honored the American astronauts who orbited the moon in April. Now to our good news report. A story of academic excellence. As we see, a Nigerian student, Dorcas Akambi, has just graduated from the medical school in Russia with a remarkable 4.90 GPA. Dr. Akambi was seen delivering the valedictorian.
This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died, that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I got that day. Remember when me tell you say I got that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way you go like a papa nuku. But them way go hero. Me tell you what I look pandi what pandi samiro. Me tell you what I day. For we the front and the rest of man I tell you what I do. Me know that you come to tell them.
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together. No retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eyes. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, we'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom. They died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front. Without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and never, and never, and never.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We play in our history that the death of our people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes, so I'm following you.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of unborn child. We live for the legacy.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Yeah, put the flag in the air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is.
I'm looking at myself in
We
the
must
mirror.
revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.